you wanna trade, pay what you wanna pay, make what you wanna make, take what you wanna take, break for what you wanna break, say what you wanna say what you wanna say, pay what you wanna pay, trade what you wanna trade, pay what you wanna pay, make what you wanna make, take what you wanna take, break for what you wanna break, say what you wanna say.
Tonight on the Fear Vision Experiment.
Bass season is finally open in Ontario.
Get the details on Sean McCall's sprained ankle.
This and more tonight on the Fear Fishing Experiment.
Who doesn't like to come home and get fishing stuff in the mail? The RLM Elite Box from Simple Fishing is just that, a bi-monthly subscription order with the most hard baits. They have a pike box, bass, walleye, and a multi-species box. Your RLM Elite Box comes in the mail every second month, and it is jam-packed full of the best lures in fishing. Doesn't get more exciting than coming home and finding your subscription box jam-packed with all the baits you need to catch fish. All you got to do to get your own, go to simplefishing.ca. Use discount code FEARFISHING and you'll save $10 on your first box. I promise it's going to help you catch more and bigger fish. That's Simple Fishing. Discount code FEARFISHIng. Mike Carnegie is a financial advisor at Northstone Wealth, providing insurance solutions that protect you and your family. Investment solutions for all your needs, like your kids' education and your retirement. Get good advice from a good guy and also a fellow angler and trusted member of the Fear Fishing family.
Hi, I'm Mike Carnegie. If you want a little direction, give me a shout. 905-925-0663. See you on the water.
10-4. Captain 4 will be going to that location also.
Good evening, everyone out there in social media land, YouTube. Welcome to the Fear Fishing Experiment. Pumped to be here. I'm excited. I come every 2 weeks.
Woo! I've missed one for a while.
I've never missed one.
Went to Punta Cana once.
Yeah, and you missed it for something else too one time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was though, but you did miss
He was
one.
down fishing in Team Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that time.
I called in.
Called in playoffs?
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. We didn't put that on the whiteboard. The Raptors won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That time.
It's kind of like world known.
We'll have to talk about that in a minute. But welcome to the Fear Fishing Experiment. I believe this is show number 83. Could be wrong. Could be 73. It could be 93.
84.
84?
84?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what it
Ish.
says. That's what it says here.
84-ish?
84-ish.
This is episode 84-ish.
84 Canadian.
We've been doing pretty good. 84 Canadian. I love that. Well, what's it called? If I don't say that it's, 23 degrees Canadian, I get comments that Americans are like, man, it's freezing down there, eh? And I'm like, no, it's
No, it's beautiful.
It's like really hot. It's like 80 degrees.
Yeah. They think you're so hardy. You're out there and you're in the shorts. It's 23 degrees.
23 degrees. How come your lake doesn't freeze? Why is the sun out? Anyway, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm Ian West. I've been here for 84 shows. Mark?
Mark Hunter. I've been here for probably 60.
60-ish? 60-ish?
50, 60. I don't know.
It's been good.
We should have had cake for my 50th. What's wrong with you?
You don't even know when your 50th
Hey?
was.
You don't even know your anniversary.
I'm
He
going to
doesn't
look at
even
it
know.
now. You owe me cake.
Fishiversary.
Probably
You heard
been-
it, right?
He's probably been
There's gonna be
31
cake
of them.
next show.
Crown the horn. We got to make this
Chocolate.
quick.
Chocolate.
Sean McCall. And I've been here.
He's been.
Yeah.
Am?
I've been here for 5 years of shows.
We haven't been doing the show for 5 years.
I know, but you
Did you
put on
get
a
cake?
good show. Ian puts on a good show every day.
I do. I try hard.
Oh, no. That's
try
what we'll
hard.
call you, the show.
The show. That's why they call me Hollywood.
Ian, the show West.
Who calls you Hollywood? I see it on your boat, but I never heard anybody say.
Yeah,
Hey, Hollywood.
There was Woody behind. Woody, say hi.
Hey, guys.
So a long time ago, you want to know the story to that sticker? And anyway, before we get into the story of the sticker, if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like, hit share. If you're on Facebook, do the same. Hit that share button, hit that like. It really helps us. If you have any questions, we're going to do a lot of questions tonight.
What about Apple? What about iPod or podcasts?
Oh, I forget people listen to this.
Yeah.
If you're on iTunes, what do you want to do, Amber?
Like and subscribe. Rate and review.
But only give us a 5-star.
Yeah, don't mess around.
Yeah, if you're going to
give us a 1, just move on.
Just
All right,
go ahead.
Just move on.
Don't
Go
listen.
ahead. So
Go
here's
play
the
with your
story of the
cats.
sticker. I started filming videos in 2008, maybe somewhere around 2010, and nobody ever really talks to me in public about fear fishing other than like fans. Over the years, there's been lots of snickering, right? So Marley, my brother from another mother, is at the Bass Pro Shops, and somebody came up to him who had been our friend for years and years and years and years and years. Yeah, I guess he had called my phone and I didn't call him back, which is no norm. Like, this is something I do all the time. I hardly answer my phone. And he said, West, what's wrong with West? Has he gone to Hollywood for us? So that rubbed me the wrong way, and I went that week and got a Hollywood sticker. And I stuck it on the boat for I could see him at Tri Lakes that Saturday. Yeah.
And it's still there.
And it's still there.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So it's been there forever. I'd actually really like to get an actual tattoo of the Hollywood sign on my forearm here when I finish my sleeve up. And you know what? The favorite part, every time I see that sticker, I kind of giggle. So it's been there forever, and it still makes me laugh. So it's there. Love it. I'll never forget the look.
There. Now you know the story.
I'll never forget the look either of the gentleman's face when he saw the sticker. Like, do you know that instant right away where he realized that Marley had come and told me quickly enough to get me to have a sticker made? Yeah. It's beautiful. Questions, comments, get them in. It's bass opener, guys. Bass is open.
Finally.
Can you believe it?
We fished bass for 2 weekends now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people for one.
Yep.
Man, that was a wait.
It's good to be. You know what? I've been out. I think I've been out every day, every weekend day that.
I think I've been out every day that Ashton didn't have soccer and it didn't rain.
I missed Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's still raining, eh? Like, we still have a rain problem in Ontario.
Oh, we do. Yeah, it's gonna. It rained a bit today where I was. I don't know if it rained here, but we had a little bit of rain in
we did
Oshawa
too.
today.
I got
Nothing like.
What morning was I going to get up and go? And I woke up and it was raining at 5.
Saturday?
Maybe, yeah. So I didn't fish Saturday and I hung out with the boy.
Yes, that's it.
It turned out
we had a
beautiful.
great time. Yeah, it did turn out beautiful. We had a great time, Ash and I.
What'd you get up to?
I don't remember. I was just thinking, I thought somebody was going to ask me that and I don't remember, but I know we had a good time.
You were talking about going to Peterborough.
He didn't want to go to the zoo.
Oh.
No, he shot me down. He was like,
Really?
no, he didn't want to go.
Peterborough Zoo?
But you know
You
what the
heard it
problem
was
was?
free.
On Wednesday or Thursday last week for school, he went to the Toronto Zoo, so he thought I was like stepping him down. And I was like, we could just go for a walk, man. We'll see some animals. He's like, I've seen all the animals. He's like, I've seen more animals than the Toronto Zoo. So,
Yeah, you can't match.
no. In today's day and age with these kids, you can't downplay this, right? Mm-hmm. That's why it's easier to disappoint, and then when you do something small, they're like, "Oh wow!"
I got the first. I got the first best question.
The first best question.
I didn't know we were giving out awards for that.
This is going to be the best question of the night.
All right.
It's from our buddy Ryan Gregory. He's way up in the Yukon.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan.
He wants to know, what is your favorite shore lunch recipe for bass?
I just eat the cheeks personally.
That's it.
I make little sliders.
Yeah.
I don't think
they're
I've ever
delicious.
eaten a bass.
Just
we,
delicious.
We talked about that actually on Sunday, just catching the
we
bass, cutting the cheeks out and letting them go.
Yeah.
That's gonna be that's
It'll
our
be
new
fine.
thing.
Oh, dear.
There's
Don't
gonna-
do
Just
that.
the 5-pounders.
They're joking. There will be a video clip on Facebook of
Just
that.
the 5-pounder.
Mark and Sean hunt and just cut the cheeks out and let them go. Here, you want to hear the best shore lunch? Pete Luzik a long time ago. This is actually a really good story, and I hope people like this. So I was supposed to do a podcast with Pete Luzik, and I couldn't get everybody at that time who was part of it on time to get in here because Pete could do it like 4:00 on a Wednesday, right? So Brian the Carpenter set it all up for me. And he texts me and he's like, he's ready to go at 4:00. He's in a hotel room and he will do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't get everybody together. And Brian the Carpenter gave me this. There's big days and little little girls and little boys and big men. And you need to just do this one-on-one with Pete Luzik. Not only, so I manned it up. Me and Pete did a podcast, the only one-on-one. And Pete was the first guy who also didn't agree with me when I was interviewing him. So it was quite interesting. It was quite a growing experience for doing podcasts and everything we do at Fear Fishing. So I asked him at the end of the interview, what is your best fishing story? And oddly enough, he told me a story that back a long time ago, he fished a tournament on Lake Okeechobee, a spawning event. And at the hotel afterwards where they were all staying at Rowan Martin's place, Rowan himself showed up with his bass boat with his live well chock full of largemouth bass. And Rowan filleted them all and deep fried them all for everybody who was staying at the resort for the tournament, right?
Really, eh?
Yeah, and I guess it was a long time ago, and we were like, we're talking way over our limit, right? Like lots of them, like live wells jam-packed full of 3-pound males. So Pete tells the story, and he says, Rowan, what are you doing? He said, I'm just shaping myself up for the tournament. There's no more males on those beds. They grilled them all. Yeah. Check that out. That was a really good podcast. But yeah, that was Pete's greatest fishing story. Can you imagine that if that ever happened in today's day and world?
Wow.
Some guy just showed up with 20 male largemouth and was
You
like,
get nuked, yeah.
Oh, man. Times have changed. Back in the
I've
old
never been to a tournament where after you get a bass sandwich, ever.
No. But if you look back, like,
I guess it didn't catch on, that concept.
and we're talking years and years and years. I would imagine from the timeline of the story, we're talking the early 80s.
Can you imagine now? They wouldn't be sandwiches, they'd be wraps.
Wraps.
Yeah, they'd be wraps.
But they'd be salad bowls.
Or on a ciabatta.
If you watch those old Bassmaster videos, fish care wasn't real important.
No.
They're just kind of
it's come a long way.
It has come an incredible.
Huge.
Like you watch those old videos and they, I can't imagine in the 60s the live wells were very good. And you watch those old videos and they're like, they go upstage and they used to have 6 bass limits and they'd be in like a Ziploc bag with no water, right? And they'd be carrying them around for half an hour.
Oh,
they must have eaten a pile of fish after tournaments back in the day.
Wow.
You think so?
I have no idea, buddy.
Probably.
I would hope not.
Probably fish fries for
Yeah.
Probably.
Imagine?
I'm sure the kill was much, much more, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
But we're like, while we're on this bass eating, do you think less people eat bass now than in the past?
No.
No, you think that there's not as much catch and release
I
as there
think
was
there's
in
a
the
group
80s?
of people that would never eat a bass sandwich, like probably everybody
But you
in this
don't.
room. but
You think the catch and
there's
kill
other
rate?
people out there that are just occasional anglers that eat them.
You would think the catch and kill rate is the same now as in the 1960s or 70s?
I would say it's less because there's less anglers.
I
and
think
a lot of anglers that are out there now are strictly in it for the sport.
Yeah, so
that
you would think
practice
that
catch and release. So I would think
you're going to retract your comment and say that it's much less.
There's still a lot of guys out there that enjoy catching.
Yeah,
enjoy
for
eating,
sure.
and there's nothing wrong with
No. I'm not giving anybody trouble. They're, that the heritage of this sport is based on catching fish and eating them.
That's the whole deal.
Yes.
That's right. I think the catch and release we're probably setting records every year for more sport anglers releasing fish.
Yeah.
I can remember the first time.
That's what I said.
The first time I ever heard about catch and release was in the early '90s with Babazumi show, when they really started.
When I was a kid, there was no catch and release.
No.
I ate bass when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck in hell.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
It was the 70s. That's what you did.
Until I
You know?
really got involved with
Yeah.
tournaments, and I've only been involved in tournaments since 2011. So
Yep.
I'm still a novice at this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like before that, I used to go on fishing trips with my buddies, and we'd whack them, and
Stack 'em.
they'd go on the chain, and that's it. I never ate them; they ate them. And if I caught them, here you go. Here's a fish, bud. Like that's, I got no problem with guys catching.
No,
fish,
I don't either.
eating
I
fish.
don't care.
But
Yeah.
you gotta pay attention to the kind of fish you're keeping now, though. If you really want the fishery to be sustained, you gotta let the big ones go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. But I can remember when talking. The Izumi was the first one I ever saw on TV talking about catch and release, and like that I can remember, and releasing the big ones. And do you know what I mean? Like that's the first time I ever remember catch and release becoming an issue, or like not an issue, but like a topic.
A thing.
Now it's huge.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the last time I killed a fish.
Me neither.
No.
I can't run. Like I never bring
know.
them home to eat, and it's not that I don't want to eat them. It's just.
You don't.
I'm lazy.
I don't want. I don't want to
clean
deal with
it.
them. The worst part of the whole. I don't want to come home
I
and
don't wanna
clean
clean
it
it.
and then
Yeah,
get rid
yeah.
of the.
I almost
carcasses.
killed one. I almost killed one opening Saturday.
Yeah.
Or opening Sunday when we were in that tournament. I hooked it real deep. It hit the topwater hook.
Oh
real deep.
yeah. Can we? Do you think what? I should have went over this with you.
Surprise.
Yeah.
What do you do all day?
Let's bring up an interesting fact about our friend at Rockstar. This may get us in. This is good. I like this.
Well,
Tell him.
I hooked this fish deep, right? And
Yeah.
I brought it in. I'm like, oh, Ian, it's bleeding bad.
It was bleeding
And
profusely.
Ian's like, give him the Rockstar. And
yeah.
we cracked open the Rockstar, and I poured the Rockstar down his mouth, stopped bleeding right away. We
Right
put that
away.
fish in the live
That
well.
fish was.
Yep.
That
it
fish
worked.
was on his
Yep.
way to death.
I've used it. I've used it.
So
I've never heard of
So
this before.
there's something with the carbonation. in
Coke would
Rockstar.
work. Pepsi would work. Yeah.
But-
whatever.
but-
But you
energy-
have to use Rockstar from now on.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so
Gotcha.
with energy drinks like Rockstar, there's something about the carbonation there's more carbonation, I guess. And this is I don't know anything. The Rockstar people never told me why it saves fish life, but it really does. So this fish was bleeding profusely, right? Sean held it over the side of the boat, and I poured the Rockstar down his mouth, and I'm telling you, that fish clotted up like this. He went in the live well. He spent the whole day, and he was 110%. If we wouldn't have given him the Rockstar juice,
Done.
He would have 2 or 3 minutes. He'd have bled out.
Fish don't have a lot of blood.
No,
Yeah. I'm a testament to that. I tell you, it works. It works.
Do you have this
and it
on
works
video?
well.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have video of it.
Oh yeah. Do I have it?
No,
We should show it.
it's unbelievable. I'm telling you, like
We weighed that fish in at the end of the day.
yeah. So that
And
fish,
this is first thing in the morning.
He was bleeding, got the Rockstar, went in the live well, and he made it probably another 6 or 7 hours. Made the live. He was happy as could be at weigh-in. I don't know. It's kind of hard, but anybody who's out there and has a Rockstar energy drink and you have a bleeding fish, you give them the juice, even if you're going to let him go right away. I will tell you, within seconds, that fish will stop bleeding. He'll absolutely.
Make sure it's carbonated.
It's got to
Yeah,
be like a fresh can is better. Not like as soon as you open it up, you lose some of the carbonation. But like pop a fresh can, give him the juice, and within 10 seconds, that fish will stop bleeding, and he'll be 100%. And I have no idea why. I'm guessing it's the carbonation. It's
So there's
amazing.
a lesson to be learned here, isn't there?
This is a wild
You got to
story.
have a 6-pack of Rockstar on your boat at all times. All
That's
anglers.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
What flavor do you think they like best?
I gave them
The high carbonated.
I gave
ones.
them the blackout.
Yeah, blackout's good.
I don't think you can go wrong with blackout. Shout out to Gavin. Gavin is addicted to blackout.
Is he? Yeah.
I gave the guy one
It's
can,
good stuff. I'm not gonna
sends
lie.
me pictures of it at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So
I got one in front of me right here. Look at that.
Any of you guys who are fishing tournaments, have Rockstar in your boat, not only because it tastes good, but because it saves fish's life.
That's right, man.
I tongue hooked a giant largemouth one time just while I was fun fishing. And anybody knows if you tongue hook a fish, it's going to die.
Yep.
And I gave them the Rockstar treatment and threw them on my live well for 10 minutes. And I was expecting to open the live well and it just to be red.
Yeah.
Right? But I threw them in the live well just because I like when you tongue hook them, they're pretty much poached. So there's no point in releasing that fish because if he turns up croaks, I'll find him a home. And 10 minutes later, went in there, no blood, no nothing. And I was planning on opening that live well and finding just a big red pool and a floating fish. And he was absolutely fine. And then I gave him another 10 minutes to make sure he was fine, let him go. And I'm sure he's out there just living the dream now. Probably been weighed in 2 or 3 times.
Steve Shaw's got a question on Facebook here. He says, when fishing topwater baits, example a spook or other walking bait, what line and rod length is the best? He says he finds when with straight braid, the bait jumps and gets the line wrapped. Now, I've had that problem in the past with line jumping.
Mm-hmm. And a walking bait's it pulls instead of getting it to walk. I know exactly what he's talking about.
But if you have a softer rod,
that's what I would.
See, my new Seth Fighter jerkbait rod, light topwater rod, is unbelievable. Most of our fish on Sunday actually came on that rod. I like using straight braid because it floats.
It floats,
right? It keeps the bait up, and that soft rod. When you're working that soft rod, I find it takes so much.
That's right.
Snap, right.
That's
it makes it easier to work.
That's what you got. You need.
I throw a
rod.
spook a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah.
And
you gotta have the right
I
rod.
run it. I use a 6/8.
Yep.
Tatula on spinning gear.
Yep.
10-pound braid. I used to use mono, but I was losing fish. There's just too much stretch on it. Now I got a better rod, and that rod can take some of that.
But that's what you need. You need
and I got my
ultra soft.
Yeah,
tip.
and my drag is not cranked right up either. It's
yeah. You need an ultra soft tip. You need some backbone so that when he grabs it, you can really give him the meat. But an ultra soft tip will stop that pulling. If you use a really stout rod, it's going to pull the bait forward instead of allowing
snap it out of the fish's mouth. Right?
That's a good question, though.
Yeah. When I see that boil, I just see if I can see my bait. If I can't see my bait,
so here's a good one. Sean and I were fishing, right? Mm-hmm. And we're just talking topwater and watching them. Fish blows up, right? And I'm using a live target hollow belly in like a bright orange. I don't think fish care at all what the color of the frog is. I don't think they look at the frog. I think they look for movement, and they'll eat anything. So fish blows up on that frog. I must have waited 10 seconds because I could see the frog underwater perfectly. If you watching the vlog, I wait, and I honest to God, I waited 10 seconds for him to turn that frog, and then he sucked it in. And as soon as I saw orange go, I give him the boots. But I said, as soon as he blew up, I said, I can see it. And all he had was the tail, like the leg.
Yeah.
And as soon I watched that for 10 seconds, that fish swim with that frog. And as soon as I watched the orange, I think that when you're frog fishing,
it's real important to wait.
That's right. And I think the big thing is, if you think about this, the frogs, the fish is only going to see the bottom.
Yep.
Right? So on a really sunny day, I like to use a dark bottom. And on a real cloudy day, I like to use a white belly. The top half is really, for me, like a float. Right? The better I can see that frog, the better chances I have. You got to learn to be a little patient. But if he blows up and I can still see orange, that fish hasn't got it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if he... lots of times they'll come... So a huge fish... So here we're getting deep into this. I love this bass talk.
Yeah.
So a big fish doesn't blow up on a frog.
No.
A big fish comes up behind it and goes...
like a toilet bowl flushing.
Slurp.
That's right, because a big fish can eat a whole frog. A small fish, even a 2.5, a 3-pounder, will come up and smack that frog from underneath, trying to stun him. Right? So if you think about like anybody, if you ever had a bullfrog in your hand, them things fight.
Yeah, sure they do.
right? Like that whole, you remember like the bullfrog holding onto the stork's neck? Like they're fighters, man. They don't give up. So a 3-pounder to get a frog, like a bullfrog in his mouth, he's going to be a struggle going down the hatch. So lots of times they'll come up and they'll hit them in the guts trying to stun them or wound them, and then come circle back and watch for the kicking motion. So if you can see your frog and he's smacked it and you don't move it, he's just wheeling back and to get himself lined up to give her a go. So I really think that in the world of frog fishing, color matters more to me than it does the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
I like using
Makes
a black
sense to me.
frog. I find that a black frog, I think they can see a black frog a lot easier.
In the sun.
Right.
On a cloudy day, I'd like a white belly. But I think belly color is really important.
You know what I do too is because some days I'll find that I'm getting a lot of short strikes and I'm missing a lot of fish. I'll downsize my frog.
I cut the legs off.
I'll go super small.
So here's another tip. And I did a fear fishing tips, tricks, and other random thoughts. So your frog legs come. If you cut one side shorter than the other, that frog will walk the dog a lot better when you're on your throwback. When you want it to stay in one place and just go kick back side to side, if you trim your legs different lengths, it'll walk like a spook better than it will with two legs the same. But the first thing I do whenever I open any kind of hollow belly frog is trim the legs up. There's nothing more frustrating than watching a fish. Have you guys ever had? I've had them like come up, set hook, and rip all the tail legs out. Never touch the bait.
Are you moving that frog back to the boat, or are you hopping, popping, and?
It all depends on the mood of the fish.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
What do you find works the best?
It depends on the mood of the fish.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to just let it soak.
Yeah. And
Give it a twitch
sometimes
and let it soak.
Lots of times. So I think that you either need that let them have a real good look at it, or you need to not let them look at it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I'll go out there and I'll just reel it in as fast as I possibly can, and sometimes I will skip it in between pads. And I think so here's a big thing that I've learned over the years. Largemouth, especially big largemouth, will follow that frog forever sometimes, and you'll watch them wake. I would suggest that everybody so you get to the edge of the pad bed that you're fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I get to the edges of that pad bed, I stop the bait. Dead in its tracks. And my thought is that would a real life frog go out to that open water without having a 1 second look at this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I can't tell you enough times how many times that I have stopped that bait on the pad bed,
And
let
bang.
it paused, and gave it one pop and had big fish just annihilate it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that I think they fall from underneath. I really think that they're under those pads tracking that bait, and they may not go through the pads if they're not. Let's say they're not super aggressive that day. It must take a ton of energy to bust through that pad bed,
Mm-hmm.
and one every 10 times, it's got to be something there that you don't want to be in your mouth, right? Like realistically, they'll blow up on a mouse or a chipmunk or whatever, and they don't have hands, so they got to taste it to feel it.
That'd be weird if bass had hands.
Yeah, they're cool, eh?
Do you know what I mean? So when
Fight you.
Rip it out, give you the finger.
if that big fish is following, the first time he's going to get a real good look at this is right at the edge of the pads, and if he's gone that far, he's probably real interested in biting it.
Oh yeah.
And if you just give him that half a second to have a look at this and let those legs fall and then give her a pop, you won't believe how many more fish you'll get on a frog.
There you go.
Don't be afraid to fish a frog though on shores and up under docks and skip that
everywhere.
in.
Anywhere.
Everywhere.
Open water.
Yeah,
Anywhere.
it's not
Anywhere.
just for pads and reeds and.
No way. I know the Spiro. Spiro is a frog. He fishes all them.
Mr. Garnier.
Yeah, like frog freaks.
Water frogging, man.
I
watched Spiro get one
Ever
in
heard
the
ish?
Otonabee River one time. It had to be a 5-pounder, and he just a tree, flipped a frog in there, and that fish hit so hard that I bet you when Spiro set hook on that fish in the air, and I watched the fish in the air, and Marley and I, and he pulled her the first 10 feet out of the tree in the air.
Wow.
I have a few questions.
Yeah, fire away. We love questions.
William Nering says, when is it better to fish, before or after it rains?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm going to say before.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like it will be better.
So in the world of fishing, there is weather makes a huge difference in pressure.
Mm-hmm.
A high pressure day, it's really good to smallmouth fish.
High pressure means it's going to rain.
No.
No.
Low pressure means it's going to rain.
Low pressure, it's going
So
to rain.
here's the thing. And you have to understand weather. So a cold front. So I'm trying to think how to explain this. So weather lasts for 3 days in a fish's eyes. The first day of a cold front is terrible. The second day of a cold front is terrible, and the third day it just becomes the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Why fishing is so good before a storm is because they can feel the pressure change and they know this period is coming. It's kind of like cattle. So growing up on a farm, anybody who ever grew up a farm notices that if there's going to be a light rain, the cows will stay in the field. If there's a big storm coming, they'll herd together and go under the trees and lay down.
They'll lay down.
They can feel. They can. I don't believe that they can tell that there's a
My
storm
mom used
coming.
to say that. My parents, if the cows are laying down, it's gonna rain.
It's gonna rain.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee you that they can feel the pressure. So sometimes, most of the time, while the front's rolling in, my guess is that the fish know that this 3 days of not eating is coming, right? And then that's when they really put the hit on. Sometimes we can roll into a storm or get a cold front and they hit. So it's just a general rule. So they hit really hard before the storm. Day 1 of the cold front, it's usually pretty tough. Day 2, it's pretty tough. And day 3, it just becomes the weather. And that's why when you notice, even in fall fishing, when it gets really cold, after that third day, it just becomes fishing again, right? Those fish are just become accustomed to the weather, right?
They gotta eat.
And the same thing can happen in the reverse, right? 3 days of storming, and on the third day you really whack them, and then the next day it's nice, and the fish don't want to eat.
Yeah.
I've run into that circumstance too, where, and fish like and don't like changes. They like stable weather.
Absolutely.
So anytime there's a change, it's either going to be really good or it's going to be really tough.
Gotcha.
I'm with the fish.
Yeah, I get a little.
I love fishing. I love fishing storms.
Like before a storm, when it's rolling in, that's the time to be on the water.
Yeah, or even during the storm.
Yeah,
But you know what? Ice fishing is totally opposite though. Like those big nasty days, those are the best days.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The days you
Remember that
shouldn't
one
be
trip?
out there, go out and whack them.
And these are just general rules. They're like, man, I can think of lots of times where you go out there and the fishing, you think it's going to be terrible, and it's just lights out.
Lights out, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So there's always those days too.
I have more.
Fire away.
Nuts on your chin
Oh, Mark will take them.
says
I've already got a pair. They're on my knees.
Mine are still there.
It took. When it came up, anyway.
I love you.
Small smileys from deep cold lakes are great for the table and more abundant than most species. It's a shame, but some people still do eat muskie.
They got to be really big before you can even keep them.
I think they're in
36 inches, no?
No, I think
No,
it's
more
45.
than that. It's 40 something.
Yeah?
45
yeah,
inches.
yeah. It's got to be a
in our
giant.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? You can't. I like.
I can't believe it would be a very tasty fish.
No, it's probably pretty gamey.
Yeah, I
But
think maybe
you
it's a
know what?
trophy for
Some
mounting or
people,
something, maybe.
some people eat fish ducks like McGanzers, and I had one once, and it wasn't very good. Who knows? But here's the key, and this is how I'm going to look at this. We should all be understanding of other people's choices. If somebody's not breaking the law, who cares what they do?
Well, the laws are there for a reason.
That
right?
you don't know, and this works for everything totally in life. That if you know whatever somebody chooses to do or makes them happy, if they're not breaking the law, nobody should be talking down to them. In my personal preference, I don't want to eat bass just because I want to catch bass. But never in a million years would I ever look at somebody and say you've made a bad decision. I would definitely be really upset if they kept over
if they
their
were
limit.
within their legal right.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? And even if somebody caught a 9-pound largemouth and decided that they wanted to mount that fish or chop them into steaks, you know what? It's none of my business. Just the same that I would appreciate that. If we go hunting and a miracle happens and we shoot something, I don't want a whole bunch of hate mail because I made that decision because I'm within my legal right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So it seems like in today's day and world, we do a whole lot of finger pointing and not a whole lot of finger pointing at ourselves.
True.
Absolutely.
Jeff Bellingham, I think. What are your thoughts on pike invasion? Spotted in Little Lake now. The river, it's all I catch musky fishing anymore.
So that's a tough issue. I got a YouTube comment a couple of weeks ago asking why we didn't kill all the pike that we caught in the Kawartha Lakes, and it's against a lot of kill fish for just to kill them, to waste food. You know what? I don't think it's going to do anything. I think all it's going to do is make more fishing for everybody. I don't think they're going to compete with, we're going to get some tiger muskie out of it. But if you look, everywhere's got pike and muskie. Everywhere. I don't know. I don't feel it's going to hurt. Right? It's got pike.
No, it's not illegal to kill all fish. Like we got
carp
invasive
stuff.
Species.
Yeah.
Like we got invasive species.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if pike's on that list.
If you catch a goby, you can't release it.
No,
you're not supposed to.
Right?
You're supposed to kill it.
Yeah, you're supposed to kill it. If you ever catch an Asian carp.
Yep.
Yeah.
With those buggers too. I can't even think of what it. What are those fish that stick on salmon?
Oh, lampreys.
Lampreys.
Yeah.
Nuke those buggers too.
So you're supposed to. Sorry, you're supposed to kill those gobies.
Yeah.
Because when we're pre-fishing for the Perch Master, my son Gavin and I, we get those gobies all the time.
Yeah. Throw them in the bottom of the boat.
Yeah, nuke them.
It's actually illegal to put them back alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're an invasive species.
Don't mess up.
They're really good for the smallmouth, though.
Gobies and mud
They're
puppies.
making them kind of
So
big.
I don't think it's going to. I know there's a lot of guys who are out there who are hating the situation. I know when the crappie really first started showing up on Rice Lake, everybody blamed that for them eating all the walleye.
Yeah, same thing on Scugog.
I got another question, pretty good question from Chris Flay. Do you think the high water makes largemouth fishing tougher?
Oh, I was hoping somebody was going to talk about this. So this year, for me personally, I've had a terrible time trying to catch a big largemouth. I've had a terrible time trying to catch a largemouth over 15 inches. Now, the smallmouth...
Been on fire.
Oh, craziness.
Yeah.
Everywhere, too.
It's been all brown for me until...
So here's what I'm going to guess. Here's what I'm going to guess. And there's no scientific fact I have going here at all. We're going to take Lake Simcoe and we're going to take Lake Ontario, Erie out of the equation. The rest of the lakes, I got a feeling that those smallmouth hit the beds way earlier than the largemouth because they're probably more... So if you look at a map of Canada and the United States, if you go from Florida up to a little north of us, the largemouth run out. That's their range, right? The smallmouth goes a lot more northern, but there's no smallmouth in Florida unless they're stocked, right? There's not a ton of them in Alabama. There's some, but that's like their lower range. I have a feeling that the smallmouth are much more, and I've just come to this conclusion myself this year. They're more accumulated to the cold weather, and that those fish pushed up and spawned a lot earlier than these largemouth. And these largemouth, the smallmouth are in a past post spawn, and they're going to feed. They're up shallow. They're hammering baits, and these largemouth are hardcore post spawn. That some of them have just spawned, and they want nothing to do with.
I think there's going to be a lot of fish that don't spawn this year. They won't. They won't drop their spawn.
On Sunday. We're balls of bait, and they were probably about that big. They were tiny.
So I have a huge
like
feeling,
size of your fingernail almost. You know what I mean?
The water up, probably if it stays up on Lake Ontario, it's going to help the spawn for those Bay of Quinte fish because they got some pretty prime real estate this year to spawn on. But I feel like they're really hardcore post spawn, and in about any time within the next 6 days, it's going to be on fire for largemouth because as soon as they decide to go shallow, they're going to eat. And I just have a feeling that the smallmouth have spawned before the largemouth in just probably a couple degrees cooler water.
Well, smallmouth will spawn a lot deeper than largemouth too.
That's right.
Yes.
So I think that's what's going on here, and that's why everybody's having a.
How long do you think we're away from summer spot?
Like when
summertime fishing.
Like when they're on
undercover, and you know what I mean. Like
they're not on docks at all.
No, they're not. They're not
at all. I fished 3 lakes.
Depending on the weather over the next couple of weeks.
No,
7 days. Within the next 7 days, I will catch a big largemouth out of a dock.
Yeah, nice.
Yes, that's my guess. I think in the next 7 days, the Bay of Quinte bass are going to move from ultra shallow, and we're going to start seeing them on deep weed lines where they naturally set up. I think within the next 7 days, we'll have. The next podcast, we're going to have a total different discussion about this.
Yeah.
And my theory about smallmouth spawning first is going to come true. because I think when these largemouth hit the shorelines and hit the cover, she's going to be 7 days of just pandemonium.
Oh yeah.
I went to Seymour and I never caught hardly any largemouth. The largemouth I caught in Seymour were in 12 feet of water.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah, fire away.
Dr. Jimmy Fang says, hey, guys.
Whoa.
We got doctors.
There's a doctor
listening to
who
the
watch
show?
this?
We got a doctor.
Don't
now.
I
That's
feel
right, man.
smart?
That makes us feel.
Jimmy Thang.
That's the first time.
I feel safe.
I don't even care what kind of doctor he is. That's the first time a doctor ever asked my advice.
Says, hey guys, it looks like you guys kicked walleye butt on rice. Once the hot spring bite slows down, where do you think walleye migrate to in the lake?
Deep. I think that if you're a smart guy, I think they're suspended somewhere in the deep channels. If you looked at a Navionics map, you could pretty much pick out where the deep holes are in Rice Lake, and that's when it becomes evening, night, morning bite, and then those fish just move off. I think it has to do with their eyes and the sun being just too bright.
They're still coming up shallow though to feed.
In the
right?
evenings and the mornings, but during the day, I bet you if so if you looked at an Navionics map, the weed in Rice Lake usually grows to a max depth of about
14 feet,
maybe even 12, 14 on a real good year. If you went, if you found areas that were 20 feet and you just trolled up and down there with some deep diving crankbaits, I think you'd just annihilate the walleye.
Mm-hmm.
That's my tip, doctor.
Should ask him what kind of doctor he is.
So you guys get your questions in. We're going to cover a couple topics here. We're never going to cover anything in this show.
I wouldn't talk to him.
Thursday before Bass Opener, we were at East Hill Outdoors for the Daiwa appreciation, our customer appreciation sale.
Great night.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was super good.
Amazing, man.
They had great deals. So they had a flipping contest. You could win up to 40% off your Daiwa. Rob Arsenault was there from Yeti.
Great guy there.
Super good dude to hang out with. You got to see Yeti products. It's amazing when you see a cooler cut in half.
Oh, yeah.
How much engineering's gone into those things.
You know, I talked to Rob. He explained the whole construction of all the soft stuff to me. The hard
you know
stuff.
this? Can you relate it?
Everybody goes up to him and they're telling me why a Yeti's so expensive.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, sure. You were with me, right?
Yeah.
We got the whole load.
I would tell you that I have a big Yeti, a 45 in my box in my truck.
Oh, yeah.
I got the 75.
On the
so much,
mine's
man.
bigger.
On the sale at East Hill on Thursday, I filled that with drinks and ice. On Sunday at Sturgeon, when I got off the water, there was still ice in that cooler. Monday I fished with cold. There was ice in it Monday, and I finally drained the water out on Wednesday night, and the drinks were still cold.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
You know what? It works
crazy.
the other way too.
If you think about the cap and the box in my truck, it's got to be hot.
Oh yeah.
So so we talked about this, Sean. When you go to a tournament, you buy 3 bags of ice a day, costs you $10, maybe $11 now. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you buy another bag of ice because you're going fishing with the friends. That's by time you go through a full fishing season, you paid for a Yeti. It's got a lifetime warranty. They're only planning on selling you one of these unless you chuck it off Everest. Is the only time it's going to break. So.
The only reason it's off Everest
and
it is because somebody's taking it at the bottom.
That's right. Yeah. And you know what? If you think about all the money you're going to save on ice and all the money that you're going to save on buying a cooler every year that you're disappointed with, you've paid for a Yeti at least 4 or 5 times. For
sure.
Oh, my God, yes.
So, you know what? And it only makes sense that, you pay a premium price for a premium product that you're only going to buy once.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why you can't buy used ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. So I totally get it. Even your drinks. Like I'm a big fan of drinking coffee at the end of the day on my drive home, and I fill my coffee cup. Right. I always buy 2 extra large. I put 1 extra large in here, and by the time I get back to the truck at 3 o'clock, my coffee's still hot.
Yeah, man.
We got talking to him about those hoppers, the hopper coolers.
Yeah, they're cool.
The construction of the hopper coolers.
Yeah.
Those things are unbelievable. The zippers, he's like, people always complain about the zippers. They're hard to pull.
They're hard.
He's like, but they're supposed to be hard to pull.
Yeah.
They're
frozen survival suits.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Like they're big.
That's why
zippers,
and those things are waterproof. You do up that zipper and you got air inside it. You can stand on it.
Really?
It will not. It will not let the air out.
Wow.
It's really the engineering in them is incredible.
Yeah.
And you know what? Anybody who hasn't gone to YouTube to watch the Yeti videos, they're unbelievable.
They are so good.
Before we had anything to do with Yeti, we watched a whole bunch of videos, and we started buying Yeti products on our own based on us just wanting more content and to support a brand that was coming out with that kind of content that we could watch. It's amazing. The stories are on there. The other thing I really like about Yeti is they don't jam this stuff down your face.
No.
If you watch
The product speaks for itself for sure.
absolutely, but if you watch all their content on YouTube, you would, if they took the Yeti logo out from the beginning and the end, you'd never know what that. Other than telling a story about hunting and fishing and adventure, you'd never know.
It's like a documentary.
It's amazing.
Mini documentary.
So make sure you go over to YouTube and check out the Yeti YouTube channel.
Dr.
Hold on. Is that a follow-up question?
Well, Dr. Jimmy Fang, I just wanted to tell you, he's a sports-based chiropractor.
Jimmy Thang.
Oh, yeah?
Love my chiropractor.
Where's he from? I'd like to
Where
visit
are you
him.
from, Dr. Fang?
You know what? A sports chiropractor would be good for all of us, and certainly something other anglers could use, and we could advertise this through this,
It's true, yeah.
I could use
space
some
for rent.
sports therapy.
There.
Ankle right here.
Doctor? Oh, yeah. So we're going to get...
Yeah.
Did we talk?
Yeah. Sean could use a doctor.
So appreciation night. Here's my favorite part of the night. Justin Clark, that's the young man's name, right?
Yep.
So he gets up on the stage, and Luke from East Hill Outdoors had built a fake boat kind of front that we could pitch off of.
Okay, well, here's the thing with Justin Clark. He came in with his mom.
Yes.
And I was like, are you going to get into this? He's like, oh, I'm not too good with the baitcaster. I'm like, come over here.
And you showed him.
Come with me.
Yeah.
Right, set him right up, and he just practiced and practiced and practiced. And I'm like, you ready to go? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
So he gets up on stage, and I'm standing beside the stage. Honest to God, to get the 40%, I must have made 200 flips, and I got it 4 times. Like legitimately. And I was really, it was tough, but not impossible. I would hit the edge and everything, but 4 times I sunk it. Justin Clark, you get 5 pitches. We did 5 pitches, right?
Yep.
Whichever one you got highest, you got to first, you could flip in a Yeti cooler, and then you got your name in the draw for the Yeti cooler. But if you flipped 30%, you got the 30%, and you could flip your other 4 for 35 or 40, and whichever one you got the highest. It was a super great deal put on by East Hill and Daiwa for this.
Yeah, amazing.
He gets down to cast 4. He looks at his mom, and she says, if you get 40% off, we'll talk about getting a reel. That kid hit that button, threw it a mile in the air.
Not 3 seconds later, right? Just boom, straight in.
And
it was
I
a
mean,
beautiful
no
moment.
rim, no nothing, and the room erupted.
Yeah.
Crazy. There was clapping. The young man took home a brand new Daiwa rod and reel.
Yes,
combo.
he did. Yeah. And
So
good on
that
you,
was
Mom.
super cool.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about this entire industry and fishing is moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Every time I have a hard day on the water or a tough tournament, I think about stuff like that, and it doesn't even matter.
How many people came up and said they'd never used a baitcaster before?
Oh, man.
Tons.
A ton,
Oh,
eh?
man.
A ton.
We took them all aside. I'm like, you never used a baitcaster? I showed him how to set it all up.
Yeah, and I think that
I said, for every
it's kind of
single bait.
scary at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Like getting a baitcaster. And here's the other deal too.
Could you imagine how they felt when he goes, "I'll show you," and he puts those hands on you?
I'll do whatever you say.
That meat pies. It's
I'll
really
make you feel like a Tatula 100.
Here, if you let's say you go to the fishing store and you don't get any advice on a baitcaster, it's really hard to spend $500 on a baitcaster on your first one.
Sure.
Right? So you go into a store and I'm going to try bait casting. I want one that costs $50.
But they're a reel that you totally need help with. You can't just go in and buy one and expect to
the big
use it.
thing about bait casting is not so much the drag, because we don't all use the drag. That wouldn't be my number one choice. Right? When the spinning reel is when you need a really solid drag. The important part is the guts of the bait casting reel for casting. Right? There is so much difference between the bottom end one, the mid class, and the real high end, and it's the guts. So I meet people all the time who come to me and they're like, "I bought a baitcaster, it was $59.99, and I'm having a ton of problems casting it." Well, I can tell you that I've been using a baitcaster since I was about 12 years old, and I would have a hard time with a $59.99 baitcaster.
Yeah.
With anything. Now, if you step it up and you talk to somebody who shows you how to set it up. I honestly believe that Daiwa is selling Tatula 100 for $199, and they're probably worth $500. that I would put them up against anybody on the entire market. It's $500 reel. And the smoothness is going to help people not backlash. It's going to investing a little bit extra at the start is going to make this learning curve of using a baitcaster a million times
But
easier.
also showing them the spool tensioner.
Yeah, that's right.
And the braking system and how to use that and how to properly set that up.
That's
for
big
each
too.
different weight of bait. Like every time you tie on, you got to retune your reel.
Until you get there. So I did a video on this too. So you set your tensioner. You can watch this in the tips and tricks video. But here's my suggestion. As you get more comfortable, loosen it off.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
So that, like, if you go to any of my reels right now and you hit the button, they're pretty much on
Full drop.
Yeah, like they're wide open, and I really
yeah.
like to fish them wide open. But there was a time where, I would go from a spinner bait to a flipping jig, and I would change the tensioner and the settings.
Sure.
Right, and it's something you got to do. But it makes a total difference when you spend a little extra from the beginning. Get a good reel that's going to cast well, that is smooth. That's the big thing, smooth. Yeah, even if you step up from a 100 to an SV, you set an SV up and it'll never backlash.
No.
That reel is designed to skip underdogs on an open spool.
Those reels are unbelievable. I've got like 6 of them on the deck at all times.
And so spending a little more to anybody, and that's the biggest advice. If I had $300 to spend on a combo, I would spend as much as I possibly could on the reel and spend less on the rod.
Really, eh?
Yep.
That was actually a question I had going through my mind the other day. What would I prefer? The higher end reel or the higher end rod?
If I was drop shotting, I would spend a little more on the rod because I need to feel that hit. If I was flipping a 1 ounce weight into a pad, the $79.99 Daiwa Fiego rod is more than you're ever going to need. Right? It's quite obvious when a 4-pound largemouth grabs your beaver bait. I wouldn't even need to look at the rod tip to know that he hit.
Yeah.
You can
right?
feel it.
Do you know what I mean? So there is times, but if I was buying let's say an all-around 7-foot medium action rod to do a little spinnerbait fishing, not a problem spending $79.99 on a Fuego and a Tattoo 100, or even the Fuego reel at $139. I used one last year for pike season the whole time.
I got a few of those the spinning ones. Anyways, Fuegos. Yeah, they're a beautiful reel.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was a big decision when I partnered with Daiwa, is that I feel that they're giving more bang for the buck and better engineered prices for much lower.
100%.
Like that is
and so many different levels, so many different price ranges and levels of
that is the big thing. And I know how hard everybody works for their money, and I know how how expensive everything is getting. And I feel like you're getting a lot more by purchasing Daiwa.
Do you remember when you bought the first Daiwa when you were with me?
Yeah.
And you let me use it, and I'd never even fished before I met you.
Yep.
You let me use it, and I was like, oh my God, this thing's amazing. I've never had anything like this. And then you took me back and you bought me one that wasn't a Daiwa,
and she had a real hard time. Didn't want to use the reel.
I wouldn't use it, and I'd be like, "Can I use your Daiwa one?"
You're getting way more.
Right.
If you put, I would have no problem putting.
It was $40 less. It was $40 less in the store, and I should have went for the Daiwa for sure.
I would put that Tattoo 100 against anything anybody else has got on the market. This is. Don't look at
for me, it's the SV.
Dr. Jimmy Fang,
I like that reel. Yep.
His practice, I believe, is called Fixable, PHY.
I don't know if I am.
XABLE, and he is in Markham.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Does he make house calls?
I don't know, but he might
He's
like
not
rice.
a masseuse.
Maybe when he comes down to Rice Lake, you guys
I got a real sore ankle.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
So what time is it there, Woody? I can't. I'm
8:52.
You guys want to take a 3-minute break and then we'll get back and we'll talk why Sean's ankle's so sore?
I have lots more questions.
Okay, let's fire a couple of questions away because it's going to take Woody a second to, because I give him no heads up at all. I totally messed with that guy's night.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt Clark. What's one tip you wish someone would have told you when you went into your first fishing tournament?
Ooh, not to worry about what everybody else thinks.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, great answer.
The first thing in here is why, it's in your head. First off, if you weigh in one fish at a tournament, It's your first tournament. You show up to your first tournament. I went through this too. I didn't fish tournaments for years because I was so sick to my stomach that I wasn't going to catch anything, and everybody would think that I sucked at fishing. If you go to your very first tournament, you show up, you catch one fish, and you get up on stage and weigh that up, you should be a very proud person of yourself, because you take 100 teams with 200 guys who love this more than anything in the world, and they know every inch of that lake and every good spot. You've really accomplished something, and you should give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah,
so
you're not fishing against those guys.
Anybody, and you know what?
Yep,
anybody who writes you a message saying, "Well, I was at that lake last Saturday and I whaled the snot out of them." Well, let me tell you, you bring the Johnson brothers and Jared Dean and Gerard Cox, Dave Chong, and Sean Palmer and Mike Williams and Dwayne, and you put them on that lake, and you're not going to look so hot.
Yeah.
That's right. And I guarantee you that.
But those guys even have bad days too.
Absolutely. So if you're thinking about fishing tournaments, the best piece of advice I can give you is to show up, smile, say hello to everybody, fish your heart out, and at the end of the day, be really proud of yourself that you did it.
Yeah, you're fishing.
And I really wish that somebody would have done that for me, because I spent a ton of time worrying about what other people thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, worry about getting to know everybody.
Yeah.
That's it. Worry about making friends.
Yeah.
Monster Adventures TV, I'm assuming that's...
Yeah, I know that, homie.
Yeah. Helped me out a lot, and combo was amazing. All of you, thanks.
Hey, no problem.
Awesome.
He was at the East Coast. Yeah, he's a Daiwa man.
Yeah, good guy.
Dr. Jimmy Fang is giving Sean some advice here.
Oh, yeah?
Boy.
Sean should be working on his ankle stability, get a rolled up towel, and start doing step-ups and calf raises. And he has a floating practice on his 16-foot tracker.
No way.
Is it like this?
Oh, my God.
Something like that. Is that?
Those are leg kicks?
Was that close?
That's how you danced at the wedding,
I was raising
buddy.
my calf.
That was one of your dance moves at the wedding.
That was.
I seen it.
That was squawking cormorant, screaming eagle. So this is what I told Sean. Do you remember when we had about this? When he hurt his ankle, I expected him to be at the front of the boat like the Karate Kid. He said,
in the crane position
all day. I was like, you just fished like the crane all day, and I was sending him Karate Kid GIS.
Yeah.
It's like, this is going to be fine. Are you ready? Are you queued up?
Yeah, I can do it.
Let's have a 3-minute break, and we'll be back. Get your questions in. We'll answer them all. We still got a ton of topics, including
all of that.
how my man Corey Johnson is kicking the snot out of things.
June 23rd, 2019. Today is Quinte Bassmasters Tour Club stop number 2. We're heading north fishing one of the lakes I know very well and that you guys have seen a lot in the vlog. I'm excited. It's early. It is 4:45 in the morning. We are gassing up the truck first, and then we are going to do the battle wagon. We have a special guest today. Somebody who's filling in because we were short a boater. I'm going to meet up with him in a second. Today we're going to a big fish lake. It is going to hopefully somebody's going to nail a big sack of brown and green fish. With a little luck, it's going to be this guy right here. So I'm going to gas up the rig, and I'm going to fill you in on who's coming with me. Filled the Yeti up. I didn't use the app, but the Tim Hortons was much quicker. Special guest for today, Mark Hunter. What's up?
How you doing, guys? Long time.
Dude, we were short a boater for this event.
Yep.
You jumped right in right away. No questions asked.
Nobody wants to see a kid get left at the dock, right? So
yeah,
I'm super
sure.
jacked. New lake.
Lake.
Somebody I've never fished with. Best thing is it's a young kid.
Lots of fish in this lake.
Yeah.
Big fish in this lake. It's going to be a fun day overall.
Maybe I'll break 10 pounds.
I hope so. I hope to do about 46.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, nothing
You're
but
going all
giants.
week?
I'm going all week. Hey, wait, you're excited to fish today?
I am very
You've
excited.
got your boat here, your
I do.
rig. You're going to be a boater, so we're fishing against each other today too.
Again.
I even give you.
What happened
I
last
already
time?
give you some tips. I don't remember. I remember the big Quinte when you got your butt kicked.
Oh, remember the CSFO when it counted?
Oh yeah, you did well. You did well at that event.
I didn't do well, but I did weller than
That
you.
was sturgeon was tough, eh?
It was very, very tough.
was
I've never
tough.
seen a fish like that before.
That is in all the tournaments that you could possibly fish on the Kawartha Lake. Sturgeon is the lake I know the least.
And it typically has the lowest weights, but man, it was
It was good.
bags, eh?
Hey, you know what? Over the weekend, Kuchiching put up giant weights.
Unreal.
This year opening weekend, Rice Lake, giant weights. It's a good season for bass.
Belmont today, giant weights.
Let's hope so. Brother, we got to hit the road. It's a tour. It's a tour. Follow me. We'll make it. It's a tour. We got to get on the road so that we're not late for club event number 2. Almost made it to the lake, but we got to stop. It's open, bro. Yeah, that guy just got gas. I'm always sure. Mark's got to get some ice for his cooler. Oh, it's open. We're about 15 minutes away from the lake, 6 a.m. Blast off's at 7. We're going to get Mark some ice, and then we're going to go fishing. I'm pumped. Just fired up. It's been a beautiful drive on the way up here, and I am fired up to fish. Hopefully we catch him today. Hopefully it's not a fishing trip. Hopefully it's a catching trip. Come on, Mark. Hurry up. It's time to go fishing. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Poor guy. He's almost ready. Come on, Marcus. It looks like it's go time. Made it to the lake. Got about 45 minutes till we got to blast off. Sean, my man, you're back. We were just talking about how last year I fished with James and we got our butts kicked, and then I drew you the next event and we won.
Yeah, we won.
We did a big bag of fish on Weller's Bay.
Yep.
So let's keep that trend going. Homie, let's get done.
We got it.
Lots of talking this year too. You were pretty quiet last year.
Yes, I was.
You need to, you're going to step your game up today, right?
Yep.
Okay, man. Marcus, you excited?
Yeah, I hate to, you know what, I really feel bad about,
what?
Breaking a young man's dreams, but you and your partner's going down, bud.
Good luck. There's Rockstar in the cooler for you.
I already helped myself.
Yeah, no
that's
doubt.
the kind of guy I am.
We need to get these boats in the water because we're gonna have to do the 1.5 mile walk, I think, Mark. Yeah. So we're gonna get the boats in the water. Sean, you can run the trolling motor for me, eh?
Yep.
Okay, get in there. I'll drop you off. Let's get these in and then we'll hitchhike back.
Pumped,
It's
Jack.
gonna be a good day, dude. It's gonna be a good day. I promise. It's gonna be a good day. Let's do this. In the water. Good luck today, Mark. I hope you get 10 pounds. Sean, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Have you been bass fishing this year?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah? How's it been going?
It's going pretty well.
Good,
so
man.
far.
Dude, we need to crush a big bag.
Yes, we do.
We do. A big bag. Here we go. Belmont Lake. Let's go find some giants. Woo! If you're not first, you're last, kids.
Something next.
Finally! Decent fish. Making some culling moves. Solid call.
We are back. Stronger, fitter, lighter than ever.
Everybody poops.
I used to have that quote.
And everybody cries.
So, you got questions? Let's start fire. Listen, first hit subscribe, hit like, hit
share,
all that goody stuff.
Call your mom.
Rate us
Tell
5.
us about-
Yeah, have her subscribe too. Your sister, your second cousin. You know, I think that if you're getting married this summer, that we should probably be on the bottom of the invitation saying subscribe to the Fear Fishing YouTube channel.
Oh.
Or, if you're at the mall, just approach people and just say, here.
Yeah.
You subscribed?
Do you even fish, bro?
Yeah, that's what you should say to people. And then be like, the guys at Fear Fishing do a lot. Okay, you got a question there?
So, Monster Adventures TV says, do you know any good spots for shore fishing? My new motor is in getting fixed, so no boat for a few weeks.
Ouch.
That's a bummer. But you know what? Shore fishing for bass is tough. I've never shore fished for bass in my life, I don't think. Other than like stock
There was
ponds.
a few caught at that kids derby.
There was.
Yeah.
So you could, in my mind, this is what I would go to, you'd have to hit public areas like you hit the trolling motor. Jump spot to spot to spot because you're probably not going to find a school fish off a public dock. But if I was going to be a full-time shore fisherman guy right now, I'd go carp fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
so much fun.
Ontario has world-renowned carp fishing.
Man, we
Freight
went
trains.
last week with Ashman
Yep.
for 3 hours and caught 4 giant carp.
Oh, my arms still hurt.
It's an absolute blast. I
Niblets?
love going carp fishing. If you catch me lots of times when I'm not filming, if I'm not filming, I'd like to go down to the river, throw my line in the water, a couple handfuls of corn, and I answer all the YouTube comments and all the messages sitting at the river catching carp. I love catching carp.
When I was young in public school up in Bob Cajun, we used to take off at lunch and we would go down to the dam, and we would go out on top of the dam and we would drop corn on hooks down, and we would wait till the carp go over, and we'd get the carp with the corn.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think that's probably the most underutilized resource we have in Ontario is the carp fishing. I absolutely love it.
There's more and more people doing it, though.
There's people fly here from all over the world.
When I was a kid, I used to go down all the time because we didn't have a boat, and I would catch carp, and I'd meet people from Ireland and England and all over the place.
It's big over there.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. But carp fishing as a sport is way bigger than the bass fishing world. They pay way more money in England.
I follow a bunch on Instagram.
They like their tournaments pay out better than the Elite Series.
Yep.
It's absolutely amazing. So that's what don't worry about what people think when you go down there and they look at you like you're crazy. What other fish can you go down, throw a handful of carbon in, and possibly catch a 30-pound fish?
Sweet corn or peaches and cream?
Whole corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to go to the dollar store.
We have
Get your bait at the dollar store.
I do. So Ash and I go down to the dollar store, and we're corn connoisseurs. We have a system.
Carp corn.
We do. Yeah, we do carp corn. Ashton's a big fan of the niblets, so we usually buy the small cans of niblets, the sweet corn to chum with to get her fired up, right? But we fish with whole corn, and I bought this like those giant nuggets of corn that come in vanilla. And
Vanilla
they're like huge. They're like, I don't even know what they are. They're this.
Bait. It's not corn.
It's like, I don't know, some kind of carp
From
bait,
the grocery store?
No, it came from the fishing store.
Bait store.
But it is like the thickest vanilla flavoring you've like a concentrate you can ever imagine. I dip my whole corn, my full nuggets, into there, and then I cast it out. But Ashton really enjoys the green giant sweet corn for chumming.
I think he eats half of it.
You know what?
Carp anglers are crazy.
Oh.
They'll make up their own.
slingshots.
Yeah, they make their own recipes, and they got it all stacked up. They put her in the slingshot, fire it up.
Don't they buy spots on lakes? They buy like a dock to fish from?
No. What is that called? A pitch.
They buy a pitch.
Yeah. Well,
fish from.
I believe in some places in England. You have to like buy a membership on a pond, like you do a golf membership, and then you get like there'll be 30 pitches, and each person gets a pitch to fish on. There's no run and gun action, but I'm telling you, if you're not carp fishing, you're crazy. It is absolute.
so
and you know what?
much
You can take your whole family. You can take all your friends. We should
do
all
an
go.
evening thing.
Yeah.
And here's the crazy part. I'm going to give you the tip of a lifetime when it comes to carp fishing.
Are we gonna hashtag that? tip of a lifetime?
We could, possibly.
Keep
Don't
that up
tell
there,
any of your
Woody?
friends. Tell everybody to subscribe, but this is only for listeners.
Keep it secret.
Don't tell anybody.
Carp bite absolutely amazing at night. Way better than they do during the day. So I know that, people have to work and they get, family time. If you can sneak out after you put the kids to bed, right when the sun's going down, they will bite all night long, a million times better than they do during the day.
Do you use a float?
No, I just use I use the silliest and cheapest thing. I do actually have a really nice Daiwa carp rod and reel.
Yes, that thing made the whole difference.
It is a lot easier to fight big fish on.
Yeah.
I'm going to use a 65-pound braid for my main line and a 50-pound J-braid leader. I use a 3/4 ounce weight, swivel, and then the shorter your lead, the better for carp. I don't know what the
what kind of weight?
Just an egg sinker.
Yeah.
Right? 3/4 ounce. And then I use a great big circle hook. Then they pretty much hook themselves.
And you just load it up with corn.
So here's a thing. I've found that you won't. So I did get a corn slingshot this year.
I knew that was coming.
I think that Ash is more.
You're not using the bra anymore?
No. So
Gosh.
Ashton is young Ash is much more impressed with the slingshot and corn than he actually is with the fishing.
Of course he is.
He's really excited.
You lose an eye with the corn and the slingshot.
Right? Ashton, so the carp slingshot, instead of having like a leather pad, it has like a pouch. A pouch.
A sieve.
You put the corn in there, you give her fire out. But the good thing about so I'm going to suggest you get the slingshot because it keeps your bait pile tighter than you would throwing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're throwing it,
you want that tight.
Don't overfeed them. It's more about keeping the pile there than it is about having too much corn. Because if you think about it, when it lays on the bottom, if there's a million pieces of corn, what are the odds they're going to find yours? The real key is to have enough corn that they all come over and start eating, and then your bait's in there, and you'll get 4 or 5 of them real quick because times are going to get tough down there. Then you want to add more, right? And if you're really going to get into the carp deal, every night you should swing by there and give her a couple. Even if you're not going to fish, just give them a couple slingshots. Let them
It's like
know.
baiting your pile for
That's
deer.
right.
Yeah,
You totally. You just got to keep, and you'll keep them more concentrated. And then when you go, it's going to be a lot better. But if you're not carp fishing, you're absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You got any more?
The Lake Prowlers asks, do you guys follow the ICAST yearly shows in the U.S.? If so, do you have any predictions for the new tech or new tackle you're hoping to see this year?
I watch a little bit from ICAST. I know some secrets that I can't talk about. Do you guys talk about? Do you guys enjoy?
I'm not talking about nothing.
I know some. I know some stuff that I'm not supposed to know. You know what I am really excited about ICAST? The trolling motor situation out there.
Yeah.
Garmin has a new trolling motor. Lowrance has a new trolling motor. I've heard rumors that Power Pole has a new trolling motor. This is opening the gate wide open. This is.
Do you think they're going to go down a little bit in price? Yeah, because there's so much competition now.
No.
I know.
Maybe at some point
they should.
They might a little bit. They're all going to be Ultrax money. That's my thought. But the geeky side of fishing for me is that the market's always been run by Minn Kota. Always. Yeah. Motor Guide was there for a bit, but Motor Guide has fallen so far behind Minn Kota, it's not funny. Garmin comes in with a bang on everything they do, and they change the market, and they change everything, and they take where everybody was, and they make it 100 times better real quick. They don't even mess around.
If they're bringing it out, it's going to be dynamite, right?
That's right. I'm telling you,
Lights out.
The people at Garmin here have tested this thing and used, and it's not going to be a disappointment, or it wouldn't be happening.
You know what?
But the geeky side of sorry, I'll give you the.
Sure you will.
The minute. But the geek side of me is really excited that we went from 2 trolling motor companies to 5 trolling motor companies. What is in the long run is just going to make trolling motors better. They're going to last longer. They're going to have more punch. It's just going to make everything better.
You know what would be awesome?
What?
If Garmin has their watches.
Yeah.
And the Garmin Fish Finder alerts you on their watch they have a fish on.
What?
If you get an alert on your watch that there's a fish.
So Garmin should come out with so that would work on those like fancy European carp rigs, right? So let's say you had to go to your car, your Garmin watch could beep letting you know that you have a carp on.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. You know what? I don't make any promises, but that might have already been talked about. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, blew your mind. You know what? I'll guarantee you that Garmin is so far ahead of it. Somebody at Garmin headquarters has come up with that idea or thought about that idea.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even. It wouldn't even shock me. I think that the little tiny nuggets that we've been getting on social media is not 1/1000 of what this trolling motor is going to do.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Like that, fish finders answer text messages. Like
not mine.
My Garmin unit on the nose of my boat, and I'm hopefully here in the next couple of days we're gonna have 2 brand new Garmin units to go along with that one.
So you can see text messages on your unit?
You just set it up with your Bluetooth, and it comes up on my phone saying, Amber texts Amber, when are you going to be home for dinner? I can't answer it, but I read the message.
For the record, I've never asked that.
No,
really? You don't want to cook?
It doesn't display the pictures she sends me.
I got another question.
Oh, stop.
I got another question.
Yeah, fire away.
Chris Flay wants to know, what do you think? Do you think that the Johnson's Tough Day 3 will come back and haunt them for the AOY?
Okay, so here, let's get into the bass. Corey's sitting in third with 490 points. Chris is sitting in 11th with 464. Gussie is sitting in third place in the Canadians. We didn't with 353. 47th, 353. If I was on the Elite Series right now, I would be scared to go to smallmouth country with them too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
like real scared.
Yeah.
Like they're hammers. I'm real as much as we have the bet going on.
Yeah.
With who's going to win. I'm really proud of both those boys.
Oh yeah.
They've done a heck of a job. And you know what? For all the Corey, your brother's better at fishing than you. Corey has really pulled his pants up, and Corey has shown that Corey is one of the greatest anglers in North America.
Absolutely.
Not only in Canada, but in North America. He has dug deep here. He has been really consistent. And
I think he's really coming out of his shell.
He is coming out of his shell. From what I haven't watched a ton of Bass Live or stuff, but on social media posts, you can see that he's fishing with a little bit more looseness than he has in the past.
Yeah.
Like anytime I've seen Corey at weigh-ins and stuff, or down the river, he seems very like tight. I after the St. John's event, when he was talking about it, Chris stealing his scissors and stuff, I seen kind of Corey chill out a bit, and I Corey's the most competitive person I've ever met in my life, like the most competitive person. They both are.
Yeah.
But they're like I know Corey kind of gets motivated by people saying that he can't. And I think that that's what we're seeing right here. I had a good feeling when we made this bet that Corey was going to prove to people what a great angler he is.
And he is. Mm-hmm.
He is. And you know what? Chris
I'm down for the road trip.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Chris is certainly there too.
Jerky.
And you know what?
Rockstar.
I've heard a lot more talking out of Chris since he's joined the Elite Series than I ever have. And I don't know Chris at all. I probably haven't talked to Chris 3 times in my whole life. I talked to Corey quite a bit more than I have Chris. But man, they're both doing absolutely amazing, and everybody here should be behind all 3 of them.
Absolutely.
Because this is very important to fishing as a tournament industry. And we're seeing it in the posts and comments, and we're doing our best to support the boys. And
sure we are. Yeah.
The people should be checking that out. And it is a really big deal with Corey and Chris and Gussie.
I really think those guys are opening up a lot more doors for Canadians.
Absolutely.
Which is huge.
It's real cool to watch it on Bass Live and hear Peterborough, Ontario.
Yeah. Cavan, Ontario.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what? And when it comes down to it, I'm really, really, proud that Corey is doing this. Everybody counted Corey out from the beginning of the year that Chris is the better angler and Chris is going to beat him, and Corey has proven everybody who thought that wrong.
Yeah. You know who's sneaking up? Seth Fighter.
Yeah.
He's such a good
He's
deal.
doing good too.
And while we're on the bass thing, let's talk about our homie Chad Pipkins.
Yeah.
You know what? Anybody who doesn't know Chad, who has never watched Chad is one of the most positive people on the entire planet.
Super nice, him and his wife.
Him and his wife are super nice people. You know, I text with Chad time to time, and you know what? Even when I always message him, he's having the season of his life. Broke his collarbone.
Yeah, after a huge injury, right?
Thought he was down and out, and he is. Man, I can't, 6th place today. Has there been a tournament here in? Like, he's got to be right up there in the Angler of the Year points,
I would
too.
think so, yeah.
But you know what? Chad is such a nice guy that I'll be like, hey, great job this weekend at so-and-so. And Chad will be the first one to say, hey, thank you very much for... But how'd your weekend go? Right? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's that kind of positive person who, you know, I really appreciate this, but how are things going with you? I really appreciate it, but how are things up in Canada? One of the nicest guy and one of the most deserving people on the Elite Series, because I believe Chad is qualified through the Opens 5 times to stay in that Elite Series. He went from the guy who was, you know, the 80 place man, and for some reason this year he has become a hammer. And you know what? He's from Michigan, Lake St. Clair guy, and he's another guy that everybody should watch for when they make this northern swing, because he can catch them smallmouth. It's really hard. Let's talk about that. Like,
when do they come to the St. Lawrence?
August.
Yeah, during the OBN qualifier.
No, that's like the week before.
Yeah,
the week
well,
before.
maybe we might be able to make down there and go for a
I'd
day
love
trip.
to go. That'd be cool.
But you know what?
We should go down.
We should try.
Yeah.
Where's it, Waddington?
Yeah.
Chad is one of those very, very positive, and he is just an all-around good people, and this couldn't be happening to a better guy.
Super guy.
Super guy. Super positive.
He was at the Classic hanging out, right?
With a broken shoulder.
Yeah, with a broken. Yeah.
In his arm in a cast with a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know Chad's got a YouTube channel going, so everybody go check that out and follow him on Instagram. Very inspirational dude. Very, very, very inspirational. There's no quitting Chad Pipkins. So in his story, and I've talked, he's been on the bubble to be out of the Elite Series, but always fished enough Opens and done well enough in the Opens. He's a hammer. He's just had and here's the thing.
What's different?
So here's the thing. If you're from Michigan, and this is why it's so impressive what Corey, Chris, and Gussie are doing, going to Texas and fishing isn't like going from the Tri-Lakes to Rice Lake, right? Realistically, in Canada, you could fish any tournament series here with 4 rods. In the United States, you need to know maybe 20 or 30 different ways to fish these fish. I've never fished fish here on 30 feet of water.
Ledge
fishing, spoon fishing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Rip rap.
I think that it's guys like Corey Chris and Chad Pipkins and Seth Fighter. You gotta, you gotta spend some time in the South learning to fish like that, and we're seeing their hard work over the years paying off, right? And like those guys. Corey and Chris have spent, like, if you think about their FLW, and I'm sure before they ever fished the FLW, they spent a ton of time in the winter fishing in the South, that, it's not something that happens overnight. You don't learn Lake Fork overnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about, like, Chad, for instance, he did amazing at Lake Fork. He's probably, and I'm just guessing here, that, if he went once a year, you'd only get to fish maybe 40 days on the lake if you went for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? So it's tough.
No.
You don't.
I don't know what you mean.
No.
Right?
Your math's off.
If we live in Ontario, right? If we went to Ontario and we went for 10 years in a row and we went for 4 days, got to fish, it'd take us 10 years to get 40 days on.
Nice. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Where somebody who lives in the state of Texas may spend their entire off season on Amistad and Lake Fork or Conroe, Rayburn, learning those lakes, so that when, it's tough to learn a lake in Texas, a lake in Florida, a lake in Alabama, a lake in South Carolina, a lake in Michigan, a lake in New York. Like, we're not talking Rice Lakes to Scugog to the Bay of Quinte.
I would say it's easier to learn now than it used to be.
With all the electronics?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Google Maps and all that.
Do we have any questions?
No question. Oh.
Anybody's got questions? We're going to jump
Ready,
right.
set, reel. What Garmin unit model do you have?
Way to put me on the spot.
Sorry.
I'll have to answer that in the questions. Off my top of my head, I can't tell you which one that is. It's an AccuMac. something. It's not-
AccuMax.
I got a story.
I can't think of on top of my head what it is.
My bad.
That yeah.
Didn't know that you didn't know.
No, the box
didn't
is on
know that
the
you
other
didn't
room.
know.
If you want to go have a look at it.
You want me to?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
It's the big. No, it's not. The box has got to be in there. I honestly, God,
The box might be in there.
I don't even know what I'm
Way to
looking
throw
for.
me under the
You know,
bus.
I don't even know if the box is in there.
How was I supposed to know you didn't know?
It's a Garmin
Dun,
9-inch.
dun, dun.
It's awesome.
We'll
Got
talk about
pan
that
optics.
next time.
Yeah, I'll get you all filled in. I'm just having a brain fart there.
Echo Maps Ultra.
Yeah, mate. It's an Eagle map for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk MLF versus bass. A year ago, we would have this conversation. We thought it was the end of bass.
Not me.
Everybody thought
Not me.
potentially. Not you. I bet you I can go back to a podcast from a year ago where you're like, "Oh my God, everybody's leaving bass, and you know what's going to happen."
I bet you can.
I bet you before the end of this podcast, I can find that on YouTube.
Do it.
Anyway, you guys watch. I haven't watched
Dare you.
MLF. The only MLF
Dare
I
ya.
have watched this entire year is Brandon Polnick's vlog.
Ooh.
I mean, I can't find it. I can't like it. I don't know. It's just
I don't think they're getting the attention bass is.
no.
No way.
No, I don't know. I watched the first couple events and it's just not the same. It's kind of like
I watched the first event. That was it.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
watching the KHL with Jaeger and Sergei Fedorov when they're it's awesome, but it's not the same. I really enjoy Brandon Polnick's vlog. That is like I never
funny.
miss. It is funny. It's a great look at behind the scenes and what it's taking. But
And
it
it's
ain't,
entertaining.
it is
for
very entertaining.
Even the non-angler.
It's very well filmed too.
Very. Yeah, Kyle.
Very, very, very. Kyle is doing an amazing job filming and editing that.
I got to meet him.
Yes, we know Amber.
In the parking lot or in the lobby? What was it?
With what?
Was it in the parking lot, or
the
the
parking
lobby
lot.
or something?
In the right in front of the
But what is it? Why isn't the MLF thing got the same passion?
Bass Live.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so long.
You know, the other thing is that I'm totally confused about the whole MLF thing because I know what's his name? Wheeler won the last event, but then
Yes, he
I
did.
keep seeing on Facebook that he won some cup event, and I didn't even realize there was a.
Well, they have cups throughout the year, right?
But I didn't see any cup event like
Yeah, they're filmed for TV, so they're released, I think, at a later date.
But we know Wheeler won, but we can't watch the event.
I don't know.
I know.
It's confusing. I don't even understand what this red cup thing is.
It's
I guess
very
it's like the
confusing to
Bassmaster,
follow.
but
It's a general tire cup or something, isn't it? No.
so that's like.
What is it?
But why is
Something
there
like that.
why is there so many cups?
I think there's three or four.
I think that's the difference. In bass fishing, there is the Bassmaster Classic, like there's the World Series, like there's the Stanley Cup, like there's the Grey Cup, like there's the NBA Championship. And I don't know. I just can't get into the MLF thing. Lots of my favorite anglers fish it, and I can't get into it. Bass, on the other hand, don't really care who fishes it. More than happy to watch it.
It is good.
It is
Bass
good.
Live's a really good production.
And you know what? If I can thank MLF for anything, it's that Bass has really stepped up and just made Bass Live better.
The stats? You like the stats?
Well, they're getting extra guys on coverage, right? There's more everything. I think a big part of the thing too is Tommy Sanders and Mark Zona do an amazing job.
Yeah,
they do.
They do.
They like Tommy Sanders is an absolute, they're
Captivating. You can listen to him talk all day.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's just like he's kind of like Bob Cole with the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I really miss Bob Cole announcing it. Tommy Sanders is just that guy for the bass world.
He's a staple.
He's a staple. Zona says the right thing at the right time.
Always,
every time. The rest of the guys on the bass crew, they just have something of everything. I think that I really like.
They all gel really well.
JT, I really like JT. Mark Stone seems like a good guy. But it's just not Tommy Sanders and Mark Zona. Do you know what I mean? So
I've been caught stopping and watching Bass Live when you have it on, and then MLF will be on in the background, and I'm like, ugh, no, I can't follow it.
it's just not. There's something different.
Yeah, both on
And
at
I
the same
don't know
time?
why.
Sometimes I try to keep track of everything so that when we do the show, I know what I'm talking about. But I've had a really hard time after
So many days on, days off.
Yeah.
I can't keep track
6
of it
days,
all.
right?
I can't keep track of it all.
Yeah.
And I really want to see guys catch
It's
5 big
confusing.
fish.
It's just confusing.
It's not only
the
that.
layout,
You know
that's
what?
all.
Like in Brandon's last vlog that came out today, the table rock, he talked about how he's changing the way he fished so that he can compete. Right? Instead of looking for big fish, he's now looking for schooling fish. And like I totally get it, but that's not what I want to see out of Brandon. I want to see Brandon is amazing at being that guy who just finds 20 really big fish. Right? Ish is the same way. Mike Iaconelli, Kevin's won more classics, but you know what? I'm really gonna miss Ike next year making that top 10. Every classic I ever been to, Mike Iaconelli was there. And there's something really special about like how Mike always just seems to dig deep for the classic, right? And he just finds a way to make it happen.
In the zone, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I just don't feel that I have that passion to watch that MLF, to dig deep, to make the what did I say, the Red Cup or
I don't know what it
Red
is.
Jacket Cup. Shit.
No. The Red Jacket Cup?
I don't know. It's just not the same, right?
The general time.
I really have no idea. I haven't watched it. I haven't been tuning in.
You know what? And maybe it's just me and being a Canadian and us not liking change at all.
We don't.
I'll admit that. But man, I want to see these guys dig it out. I want to see them get down and dirty. And, instead of chasing around schools of small ones, I want to see guys be real patient and get 5 bites all day and make them really count. It's anywhere we shake it, I'm sure there's a ton of MLF fans. And, in the big scheme of things, Corey Chris, Gussie, Chad Pipkins, Seth Fighter, Zaldane, those all guys are getting a time to shine because of this happened. So
And your buddy Grill?
Chris Grohl,
great guy.
He's a
super, a dude and a half. This has opened opportunities up in a bigger way for everybody. My question is, I wonder who the first MLF guy to come back is.
I wonder who the first group of MLF guys to come back is.
I wish I had like some kind of fly on the wall to see who's happy and who's not. And there's no way everybody's happy, and no group of people is everybody ever happy.
No.
I mean, there's growing pains, and they'll try and figure it out.
The rain delays kill me.
Yeah.
Absolutely kill me.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And you know
Camera
what?
Equipment, I guess, isn't it?
Well, I don't think it's a rain. I think it's more like a thunder and lightning.
No.
No, it's just rain.
The last one was a rain delay, and Mike Iaconelli was on Instagram saying how stupid this was.
Yeah.
And that he wants to go fishing.
I think I see something from Gerald too about it.
Right? Straight up rain
Is
delay.
it because of the camera equipment? Because there's so many out there?
Well, I don't know. Like
it could be.
I think it's the threat of lightning.
I know
right?
you don't go fishing without
yeah, but the Bass doesn't stop filming because there's a rain delay. Bass,
they got covers. They got
right,
but they don't have that many cameras.
But do you know what I mean? I saw there's like disappointment when the first time they had a rain delay. I started seeing all the pros on Instagram saying rain delay. We're sitting in our trucks, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" Right? We got in bass fishing. We're heading to the truck because it's raining out. You know what? Even if it's a thunderstorm, I've never been in a tournament in my life, and I've been in some pretty nasty thunderstorms where somebody texted me and said, you got to go get in your truck, right? You have more of the option to go get cover or go in a boathouse, but ride them out. If I got 10 pounds on the line.
I've ridden them out quite a few times.
Yeah, totally. And I can remember.
It's always on the way home.
Marley and I finished in 3rd place in the Top Bass event, and on Rice Lake, and the thundering and the rain started, and we probably had 14 or 15 pounds on the live well, and they were biting as that storm was moving through. And we looked at each other, and he was like, we're not going in. We're not going to that shoreline. We're not going to that boathouse. You just keep flipping. And we caught 4 or 5 more fish, made it to like 17, 18, low 18. And as soon as that storm passed, they didn't bite anymore.
Really?
Nobody did. And when we got to the weigh-in, everybody was talking about how they stopped biting. So I think it's a big part of fishing, right? I think that I would rather see them cancel the whole day because there's a system coming through than halfway through pulling them off the water.
It'd be canceling almost every tournament. It just seems like every tournament there's a...
Yeah, for sure. But they wouldn't cancel the tournament. They'd just lose 1 of 5 days.
Well, I understand if it's lightning.
Yeah.
Which makes
or
sense.
a tornado or a tornado warning.
But if it's just rain.
The last one was just rain, and Ike was really upset on Instagram about there being why.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
When did we get so soft?
Yeah.
I'll go fishing. It doesn't matter. Like last Saturday, I still went fishing.
Yeah.
Right? I sprained my ankle on Bassmas Eve.
Bassmas Eve?
What a
Bassmas Eve.
dummy.
Bassmas Eve.
I got to have Bassmas lunch with you.
I spent the Friday night in the hospital getting my ankle x-rayed.
Yeah, you did.
And 3:30 in the morning, I was up,
Mhm.
ready to go. I was here.
You were.
Yeah, that was a funny story when you told us and we were driving somewhere and Ian's like, "Who breaks their ankle on Christmas Bassmas Eve?"
Yeah, I do. That's the
John
second.
McCall.
That's the second time I've done it on a night before an opener. A couple years ago, I was up at the hunting camp, and it was the night before the rifle hunt, and I stepped off the deck onto a patio slab that was covered in leaves, and I was grabbing the dog, and I popped my right ankle.
I have an Echo Map 95 SV is what is on the front of my boat.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, I'm just letting you guys know.
So
Sorry.
anyway, Anyway, it was I popped my right ankle the night before the gun hunt, and then woke up in the morning, went and got an air cast. I went and got some crutches. I went and got some camo tape, and came back to the hunting camp. Camo tape.
You still have those, don't you? You used them last week.
Yeah, I did. Camo taped everything up, and I went out hunting. And then Friday night, I popped my ankle, my left ankle, stepping on a garden gnome, doing a pink job for my girlfriend. Gardening is a pink job, by the way. It's not a blue
pink
job.
job.
Cutting the lawn is a blue job.
Yeah.
It's a blue
Gardening
job.
is a pink job.
What were you doing? Actually planting?
Yeah. So anyway, I told Ian, I'm like, I'm in a bad way, man. I hurt my ankle. I never said anything about fishing or nothing.
Yeah.
And Amber was like, "Oh no, what are you guys going to do tomorrow?" And Ian was like, "He's fishing."
Yeah. He's fishing.
There's no way he's not. There's no way he won't be here.
You ever watched a hockey game? We don't fall that easy.
No.
No.
He could have his foot decapitated.
When it happened, I fell to the ground. I fell right to the ground as soon as it happened, and I grabbed it and I rolled over and I'm like, "I gotta fish tomorrow."
Did your
hurt
lips
the
start going?
garden
Were you gonna
No,
cry? Yeah,
my
you
mama
were.
didn't raise
Yeah,
no pussy.
tired.
Did you
Yeah,
kill
you
that garden gnome? Did you kill it?
Well, he didn't make it. Put it that way. I was gonna take him to the hospital, but his health card had expired.
That's funny.
Or his life.
I knew he was gonna make it.
Yeah.
He'd have never lived that down.
Yeah. We fished Saturday
and
Sunday.
Yeah. Then we had a tournament on Sunday.
We had to tell you, no, we're not. You're not going back out on Saturday.
Yeah, he was gonna go. He wanted to go back out after lunch, and I was like, "No, you should probably go rest that thing
I said we
after
should
the
have
kids'
lunch
derby."
first.
You're a machine.
Matching.
A machine.
I don't. I'm not afraid of fishing. I want to fish, right?
Echo Map 95 SV
Okay.
is what is on the front of my boat. There's more units coming this weekend. I can't believe I drew a blank on that.
I have more.
You ever have like where you can see the writing on the front of you're like on something and you're like, I just can't. Yeah, but it's an Echo Map 95 SV. Works amazing.
I could have told
you. You know what? You know what the
where were you when we were talking about it?
That's the first unit I've ever had with
that was sweat.
touchscreen. Here's the best thing about touchscreening. When you're going, I like to fish in flip-flops and I like to fish in bare feet. Half day, half day.
You do not.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I do.
You do
Yes,
not.
he does.
Always
Look
do.
at his feet. Look at his feet. Tell
Honest
me.
to God. Yeah.
Look at his feet.
Do you know
every time we were
You
walleye
can
fishing
tell.
this year when it was really cold, I'm like, dude, like he's full gear, like rain gear, sweaters.
No, I
and
thought you
everything.
meant you were going to use your unit
and
with
he's
your
in
toes.
flip-flops.
I do.
Yeah, he does.
All the time. I'm not even joking with you. I hit
Oh, there's a leg cramp.
I hit wow, that's old.
Look at his bottom lip quivering.
Quick, let's stop the bleeding. My favorite thing about that fish finder is that I can hit waypoint with my toes.
That's terrible.
It's
Yeah.
He'd rather not bend over and just take his flip flop.
Yeah, right.
Well, I have to stop casting when I can just be hitting waypoint.
Yeah.
Or if I want to see my panoptics, I just, big toe it. Or if I need to see
I
my
want to see
map,
you
I'm
zoom. Can you copy and paste?
If he had a chair up front, he could.
Hey, you could send a text reply to Amber.
Yeah, with your toes.
I do all the time.
With
And
your
the
toes?
exciting part is I've got a 12-inch coming for the front of the boat. I'm going to be able to do so many things more with my toes.
I can't do
So
nothing
much
with my
more
toe.
things.
My big toes are like 2 inches wide.
They're twice as wide as your hands.
They're hammer toe.
Not even your fingers.
I've been so tired in that boat and my old units and been like, I just do not want to bend over right now and sunburn and hit waypoint. But now it's just like, doop.
Is that doctor still listening? I got a cramp, but what do I do?
Get
Eat
Ian
a
to rub it
banana.
out.
Drink some water.
I got
what my mom would
questions.
say.
Let's fire questions away and we can wrap this up soon.
Monster Adventures TV, to all three of you, I guess I don't count, or Woody. If you could ever choose just one lure for largemouth, what would it be? I know.
9/16 black mini jig with a black and blue chiller. Mark,
Yeah, I already know what I.
Mark would throw a
Dinger.
dinger.
Sean,
A
what would you
dinger.
throw? One lure.
One bait?
One bait the rest of your life. I should have thrown.
Rest of my life? I don't even want to think about that.
The nightmare.
No, I don't even want to think about that.
What?
There's-
Come on.
There's too much. There's too much stuff I like to throw.
I could go the rest of my life only flipping a jig. I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah, I'd probably flip a creature bait.
Ooh.
I just want something with a baitcaster.
Nice. You got any
Craw.
more questions?
Or
for
a
me?
craw.
Baitcaster, eh?
Yeah.
I really want to throw this wiggle
I
word.
don't- Yeah.
Sorry. Squirrel.
Shiny penny.
Questions?
Got
No
snow?
questions?
Looking, sorry, there's so many I missed because I was waiting to get them
Oh,
to you.
you can just jump in at any time.
How much do you love the live scope? It's so much fun for jigging.
Oh, so the live scope is coming from my boat too. The pan optics has been absolutely mind blowing. You know how easy it is to find a weed, the weed edge. So, let's say you're fishing deep weed and you hook a fish, and you look up, or you walleye fishing anything. All you gotta do is turn the trolling motor head, and you're like, oh, there's where we were.
It's insane.
It's awesome.
Mike's got it on his boat. I've never seen anything like it. It was unreal.
I used the pan optics
Yeah.
a lot in last Sunday in our tournament, like always looking, because we were fishing scattered weed.
Yep.
And I was always turning the trolling motor head, always looking for that. And as soon as I seen it, boom, I'd cast right out there and we'd pull fish off.
And you know what?
amazing.
Like it's realistically, you're not just looking in front of you. You're not looking at the side. You can do 360. Like you can see what's behind you. You can know where the sporadic weed is coming. You know when you're coming up to the weed bed. You can tell when the bluegill are on the edge of the weed, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for. You can certainly see, and I can't wait to start using the live scope. But it speeds quick fishing up. That's what it does for me. It makes
That's what I was
great.
using. I was using the live scope from
Yeah,
my boat.
it makes everything
Insane
faster.
unit. Yeah.
Because you like to be fast.
I do.
You're like
to
Ricky
fish
Bobby
fast.
on the water.
Oh my God.
Ricky Bobby.
I want to go fast.
I'm working on being slower.
XX Darkamus XX. Have any of you guys ever had a breakdown on big water like one of the Great Lakes? Or a breakdown? If so, what happened and did you get in?
I've never had a breakdown, but one time Marley and I were going from Port Hope to Coburg on Lake Ontario in his Lund, and I thought we were going to die. I'm not
yeah?
kidding.
That one is so scary. Is that when I was there?
No,
No, that was a different. Oh my
that's
God.
a Triton bass boat. He used to have a Lund DP. This is a long time ago.
Oh, yes.
And we were driving, and when it was perfectly flat, and on the way back, it became 6-foot waves that we were going into, and the boat was just going through them. Like they were so big, and I honestly looked at him, and I was like, I love you.
I love you.
You know,
Bottom lips quivering.
Yeah.
and
I'm so glad
it
we
was
experimented.
Like, it was like, hold me. It was like October. And I looked at him and I was like, if we got to go, there's probably no better way than this. And I really thought it was over. But like the waves were so far apart and so big that it would like go down in the thing and just drive right. We were soaked. Like it was real bad. I've never had a breakdown, but that's the closest I've ever come to.
I broke down a couple times.
Yeah?
I broke down once on Rice Lake, all the way across the lake. And it was okay because I had the iPilot.
Yeah.
And I had the remote, so I just sat back down. And I used the remote. I dropped the trolling motor off, and I just used the remote and drove all the way back with the trolling motor while I sat in my seat and fished. It was all right.
You
But
trolled?
I broke down before.
I broke down
Sean
once.
just said he trolled.
Yeah, I did. I broke down once on Skoogog in the very first boat I bought. and that was sketchy because it was crazy windy.
Yeah.
And my trolling motor died, and I started blowing into shore, and this guy came by. I waved him down.
Yeah.
And he came by, and he's like, "You all right?" I said, "No, man." I said, I'm in a bad way here. And he was like, threw me a rope, and he towed me all the way from Caesarea all the way to port.
Wow.
No.
Wow. Good on him, that guy.
Yeah, I hopped out. I threw the guy $100. I'm like, "Here you go, man." He's like, No. I'm like, "Dude, you burnt that in fuel. Towing me over here."
What
was he towing you?
You know, he told me in a bow rider.
Yeah.
I blew an engine up on Tri-Lakes, and I drove her the rest of the day on 5 cylinders.
I did that on Balsam.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
What a dumb move.
You should have heard her. Like, it was popping, and like it was obviously blown.
That was the opti I had for 45 minutes.
We had a good day. We weighed in 15 and change, and after day one of the Classic, we were in 11th place. But Marley and I, it was probably one of the most memorable days of fishing because we were laughing so hard at the sound that engine was making, and I would just give her more gas. And he was like, "You do realize that you're wrecking the engine?" And I was like, "At what point of the day did you think that this engine was okay?" Like, I knew it was cocked. And I just drove on her. And it would just go fast enough to get her on plane and bounce.
Was it on like limp mode or something?
Yeah. But Marley, so we like it was on limp mode, but if Marley stood on like the very nose, we could get her on plane, and then
that's the cylinder.
Yeah, and it'd go up, and it would do like 22 when it got it up, and I just drove her the rest. I didn't care.
I know a guy that popped his power head the other night.
No way.
So do I.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Mm-hmm. Joey Ford.
No way.
No.
Yeah, he was out with customers on Rice Lake.
Oh.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
bummer.
He popped her.
Yep.
But
they always go.
He's got
the
lots of
worst
friends
time.
out there. He put a message out on Facebook, and within half an hour, he was
being rescued.
He had people there helping him out.
Nice.
Did you hear the other story to that night?
What?
I can't.
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
About the neighbor?
We can't talk about that. So.
That's funny.
No, we can't.
Bring it up.
Do you got any more questions?
Dick.
Amber, PM me later, and I'll tell you.
XX Darkimus XX. What depth is Panoptix the best, and have you found in waves adds interference?
You know what? The waves don't really make a difference as long as your Panoptix is like your transducers in the water. It really doesn't change that much. The deeper it is, the easier it is to read, but it'll work up to a couple feet, right? You can just, the deeper it is, the farther you can shoot out clearly. I like to I usually, with less than 10 feet, I usually keep it about the 38 mark, and I've had the gain at about 81. Seems to work the best for me.
Yeah, it works good.
Yeah, it's perfectly clear. But there's lots of times when we've been searching for stuff, or we'd like, you know, on your mapping system, you see something that I've stretched it out to 70, 80 feet so that we could look further. But yeah, the deeper it is, obviously, the easier it is to use.
I got a pretty good question from Chris Flay. Do you think that it's harder for a northern angler to go south or a southern angler to go north?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a great
Do you know
question.
what? I think it'd be harder for a northern guy to go south. Only reason is there's so many different techniques and different kinds of fishing down there, reservoir fishing, stuff like that. Tidal fishing.
No, because there's a ton of southern largemouth guys who are just dreading this northern swing.
Yeah.
But
the smallmouth are.
That's what I'm saying.
So largemouth are like
here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, smallmouth.
Don't count on them.
Yeah.
Don't count on them.
And they hit at weird times, and they're very time sensitive. Like if they sometimes smallmouth will hit at 11 o'clock every day, and never hit again till 7 p.m.
It's like the white rabbit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that you would have a harder time learning to smallmouth fish rather than learning to largemouth fish.
I would agree with that.
That would be my guess.
I would think the other way.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're weird.
Yeah, you are. Spin reel guy.
XX Darkimus XX says north to south.
No.
That's what I said.
I think I'd have a way.
We agree.
I think
they're wrong.
No. No. Yeah. No, you know what? Those southern guys like heavy line. They
You know
don't
what?
like
We let the
spinning reels.
audience vote, and they said.
We
north
let
to south.
one guy vote.
Hey,
You know what?
hey.
You
We
know
can't
what's really
control
weird?
the numbers that of Collins.
Okay, second
Every
place.
time somebody says north, south, east, or west now,
Second place.
I relate it to Game
my.
of Thrones. The hell
I've
out of
never
that.
heard
Oh, my.
somebody argue for so long about how second place beat me.
Well, I basically did, man. So we were. Let's say it. Okay, we were in a tournament on Sunday.
Yes, you filled in our
filled in as a
club
boater.
for a boater. I won. You finished second.
Barely.
And you barely. And ever since that moment, you've been trying to explain to all of us how you really won, and somehow I just had more weight.
I never said I won. I said I was happy with the way I finished.
You did really good.
You weighed 13.4.
Yes.
0.
Yes.
I just want to put that 0 in there just because it sounds good. I weighed 13.29. So 0.11, 2 ounces.
That might as well have been 100 pounds.
Sip of water.
Sip of water.
I've never been on the lake. Ever.
Man, how many more excuses do you have?
I don't know. Just saying.
I've been on the lake a ton of times. I still won.
By 0.11.
I couldn't care.
That's so close. It should be
I won by
fish-off.
0.01. No, it's not. It's that close. We didn't tie. You finished in
I'm
second.
disappointed in your performance, Mark.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed too. If I knew, I would have tried harder.
You know what? If we hadn't lost those 2 big ones, we had like 17.
Everybody's
I
got
told
that
I
story.
told young Sean when we were driving in there, I was like, if I lose by 1 fish, I'm gonna like have a meltdown. I was like, you're gonna see it on the vlog while I lose my stuff. It's a bummer. I don't mind if you lose a couple big fish and you finish in 20th. That's okay. I can live with that. But when you lose a couple big fish and you finish in second to Mark Hunter, it's hard sleeping at night.
Yeah.
It happens.
Not Sunday.
Yeah, I'm still winning overall though for the total of fishing's
Whoa.
event.
what?
For
For
bass. For bass. Tournament
no.
bass fishing so
Who's
far.
had the better season?
I have.
Like hell. So what is your tournament standings right now?
There's only been 2 tournaments that you and I have
said the
finished.
whole year.
No, we're talking bass.
all year.
Things that we were
So
both
Sean
been
and
in
I've
together.
got a 3rd in the pike. I've got a 2nd in a white bass
I got
tournament.
I got a first in the pike.
I got a 70.
I'm winning so far.
I got a 70.
We won
whatever.
78th.
That's right.
Hey, we won
and then the
78th
next week
straight.
I
won
got a first.
52nd.
So other than one tournament, I've got a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd this year.
I've got a 1st, 2nd, and
52nd.
What else was there?
But in weight,
First,
who's got the most bass in weight?
Me.
By what?
I don't know. I don't do the math like Ian does.
Probably 0.11.
0.11.
Probably.
No. Because we beat you by a few pounds, I think, on sturgeon.
I'm having a Corey moment, and on tri-lakes, I feel that we're just going to tear you guys apart.
I'm having a Corey moment.
All right.
I'm fired up. I'm going pre-fishing Wednesday for tri-lakes.
So you agree?
I'm going with you.
I am the reigning angler of the year.
Of what?
Of us.
We gotta
Yes, I am.
We have to set this
I'm up here.
You can't just like make up awards.
We have to set this up.
Is there a
We do.
trophy?
There has
I
to
want
be.
a trophy.
There has to be.
There should be a mid-season trophy.
We'll talk about it and we'll do it for the next show. Is there any more questions?
Yeah.
Okay, fire them away because we're wrapping up soon.
Matt C says, nice work on the room decor. And
in here?
XX
Nice.
Archimus XX wants to know how much the space for rent is.
$1 million.
Depends what you want to put there.
We'll get in touch with you offline. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
That was
Like right
That
away.
was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life.
This is good.
Wow. I wish we had a replay of that moment. The guy doesn't say anything for an hour, and then he throws out the creepiest moment on this pike. Let me talk to you in an hour.
That was great.
Oh,
man.
Any more, Sean?
Mike Howard says, fish battle. Mark and Ian need to do a fish off on the lake. They both know the same.
Or we don't know would be even better. Like I just did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
We can do that.
0.11.
I think we need to
You
set
pick
up
the lake,
Angler of
I'll
Year.
beat you.
Yeah?
Yeah, we can fish in the same boat, too. Want to do that?
Yeah. No.
You know what? I've seen you fish in the back.
Once. Once.
Remember that time we hammered walleye and he sat there and pouted all day?
Yeah, I did.
All day.
By myself because I was
really
on the
good at
back of the
tying knots.
boat.
Hey, we're running behind. Guys, do you think we could do a half drift?
And we did, and it didn't work.
Worked for us.
It did.
Yeah.
I think we each got one on that.
At that moment, I'd given up. Yeah.
Angler of the year.
So far.
Oh, yeah.
One day.
Darkimus says, MLF style, go to St. Clair, do it there.
It's a long drive.
That is a long drive. Let's go to Lake Ontario.
That's a long drive.
I'll drive you there. I've been there before.
Never
a lot of time.
I've never been on Lake Ontario.
All right, let's do it there.
You
then.
haven't?
No.
Uh-oh.
Even Amber fished it.
Yeah, I have.
It's unreal.
Yep.
I'm going Saturday.
I've never been out
I'm
salmon
going Saturday
fishing out
with
there,
Mercer.
right?
And then we're going to your
Crazy.
birthday party.
Yeah, we are.
Are we staying over?
I don't know.
We've
We
been
bring the
promised the
dogs?
biggest bonfire we've ever
We can't
seen.
bring the dogs.
Yeah. You're going to be able to see this bonfire from the moon.
Oh, yeah?
I'd love to do Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you having fireworks?
Yeah. Yeah, we're having
Yeah?
5 acre shaker, man.
5 acre shaker.
Yeah, we're having barbecue, fireworks, lawn darts, beer,
all the safe
pong,
activities.
Yeah,
Wow.
beer pong,
Lawn
flip
darts.
cup, tennis, horseshoes.
You're driving, Ian.
I will drive.
All right.
I can be the
you
DD
heard
for
that,
you.
right? You
Yeah?
heard that?
You're gonna
I
be the-
heard it.
you're
I
gonna
don't
be the-
believe
What
it,
happened
but
the
I
last
heard.
time I was
South
the DD?
Carolina. South
Remember the last
Carolina.
time I was the DD and you
No.
puked all over my truck?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. We had a romantic moment and then she puked all over my F-150.
Just you two went out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, eh? And you
Well,
got
we
that
went
drunk?
to a friend of mine and
Uh.
he got new wine and
I really love you.
he wanted-
And pizza.
That's exactly.
Right?
That's
no, the
pretty much
worst
how it
part
went.
was all we had to eat was nuts, and we weren't expecting to stay.
And you're allergic to them?
Yes.
Was that
So-
your romantic moment?
Yeah. I threw up in his truck, and it was all peanuts.
Beep.
That's all they had to eat there. I hadn't eaten yet.
Wow.
How does this all
You-
happen
you-
to you, Amber?
You know what? And
I'm
the
a
funny
lightweight.
She's a heavy
every
hitter.
time she-
She's a heavy hitter.
Speaking of, thanks, David.
we will bring up and I will drip like a teaspoon of coffee on her seat in her car and it'll be the end of the world and I'll
Oh
be
my
like,
God.
Do you remember the last time when you
Seriously.
barfed all over my truck and I cleaned it up for you?
No.
It's close to the same.
Did you wait
No.
till it dried and then you swept it
No,
up?
no,
or-
no. I got right to her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That night, I felt so bad.
I bet you did.
I
Any
drank
more
like a
questions?
bottle of wine because he just kept giving it to us, and I didn't want
can
to
say
refuse
no.
it. I didn't have a choice. It was
Why?
like, here, have another one. Here.
Was he
have another one.
Italian?
Stay
No.
within it.
Yeah,
Then it's
Yeah.
okay.
that's why. I don't
What
drink
not to
red.
do? Do we have any more questions?
Daryl Taylor, thanks for the invite to the party, Sean. Oh,
Ooh.
I didn't invite anybody. I just let my girlfriend and the girls take care of it.
For the address, message Laker72 at hotmail.com.
That's it.
A final thought, Mark?
How about take a kid fishing? Hold your loved ones close. You just never know.
Good one.
Yeah, we just lost another friend yesterday.
Oh,
No.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Yeah, that
rest
was a tough
easy,
one.
Ed.
Thoughts
I'm
out
sorry.
there, Ed.
Yeah, it sucked. Okay, go.
You got one, Sean?
Final thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to invite my cousin Scott McCall, who's watching right now, to my brother's 5 acre shaker.
5 acre
Daryl,
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
get invited. Scott, then.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, Daryl can come too. Make sure you bring the kids.
Spend time with your kids. I had a good day yesterday with Ash and Emma and Isaac.
at the Oshawa Center.
We did other stuff, but yeah.
You got a Buzz Lightyear toy that he's
He
so
was
jacked
so,
about?
oh, I went to Walmart first so that he would have that toy so that
They would just
he
come
Listen, you want to know? Yeah.
Toy Story 4.
Listen, how much did that toy cost?
$49.54 or something.
What does
Oh,
it do?
It says 20 different things. That's it. Doesn't even have wings.
Do you know what I mean?
Thanks for your $50.
Yeah, you got ripped.
You got another 50.
When I was a kid, I got like a G.I. Joe and a dinky car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Ash
He
paid
really
for
wanted
half.
it.
He paid for half.
And he chored the rest up.
I said, what are you going to do for me if I buy this for you? And he says, shores. I'm like, what? Shores. All right.
That's funny.
Shores.
What do you got, final thought?
Sure do.
What do you got?
Be the best version of yourself. Don't focus on the past. Focus on the future.
Oh, deep.
Man,
thought,
you don't say a
Woody.
lot, but when you do,
I'm not going to sleep tonight now.
Man.
I'm going to be.
Yeah. I should be out doing something.
Woody just sits back there thinking about his final thought and creepy moments to have during the podcast.
And he
Saw
nailed
you
it.
later.
Talk to you soon. My final thought is get out, go fishing. Don't worry what other people think. Sign up for tournaments. Have a ton of fun fishing. Whether you win the tournament or you finish in last place, make sure that you're a good sport. Shake hands. Congratulate everybody. That way, when it reverses and you win the tournament and they finish last, they're going to come over and shake your hand. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Good night, folks. Thanks for joining us on this crazy horse and pony show.
Horse and pony show.
Good night.
I'm riding a pony.
All right.